make sure the mic is on. Yep. All right.
All right, and we are live. Welcome, 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 Blue Box fans, for another exciting edition of Campaign 1, Rise of the Runelords. And we're anticipating and crossing fingers for good technical luck today. No nationwide Comcast outages or any of that ilk. And we're going to do a couple things today. We have an exciting giveaway. We get to 230 followers. Let me turn that down just a bit more. We get to 230 followers. We have a Blue Box t-shirt giveaway with this logo on it. Super cool. And then if we get to 235, we'll do a second giveaway. We've also got to do a shout out.
Bits from
Okay, thank you, Seekzilla. Good to see you. I think we missed you last week, if I remember right, but good to see you back, and always a great fan of the show. And we are really growing. We're up to like 230, I think, followers on the stream. We've got 1,500 Instagram followers now, and we're getting tons of support. We really, really appreciate it. We love our sponsors. Dragon Crafting Guild has been mentioned often. Atris Minis, got a couple of them back there. But then also our newest sponsor and partner, Renan Asuncao. And Renan did a stream yesterday. If you didn't see it, we had some technical difficulties, but I mean, come on, he's streaming from Spain, so that's a long way away, right? And he did a great job. He's an amazing artist, and he is actually doing 3D sculpts. You're going to see his artwork painted. It's going to blow your mind here in a couple of weeks when we actually have the content here. He is incredible. But we're going to go ahead and start off with a quick what happened last time. Before we do what happened last time, we're going to do give us a summary of everything that's happened so far, because we're in session 12 now. And we even saw some comments this week on our Instagram channel saying, "Tell me what's happened. I want to tune in, but I missed the first 11 shows." So, any volunteers to cover what happened from the beginning of the show?
Yeah. So basically, we started in this town of what's the town called again? I forget.
Sandpoint.
Sandpoint, and then there was a festival. Then the festival got raided by goblins. So then we were like, why are there goblins raiding us?
Quick prompt. So the festival was to celebrate what?
The new temple that they had erected.
Because the old temple had
burnt down, and Father Tobin and his daughter Nualia died in it, or supposedly died. And then we were uncovering little details, and then we found that Nualia was missing. And then Amiko had found that her brother was in the glassworks and stuff. So we went and checked it out. And then we found these notes and stuff describing about how they were trying to transform Nualia from a Azamar celestial being into a succubus, a demonic being. So now we're at Thistletop. We just defeated Rip Nugget. And now we are staring at a chest. We heard something beyond the door, but for now we're staring at a chest.
Some are staring, some are still recovering. What happened when you found this chest?
Oh, yeah. I got slashed across the cheek with a scythe. I'm all healed back up, but there's a pretty big scar there. So
that's a great sort of broad summary. Can anyone give us, maybe within about a 1 to 2 minute summary of what happened last time?
All right. We started off right outside Rip Nugget's throne room, and we went into combat. My character charmed him, and combat ceased for about 5 seconds, and then Cade attacked him.
Yeah,
and
there
the
was
charm.
that, yes.
And then basically we ended up, being successful. There was some pain along the way, but we were successful and managed to defeat all the goblins. And then there was some storytelling involved about a character called Riptide from Cade. And then Irda checked both of the doors. One which there was a desk and a bed and some stuff inside of, and the other one there was a privy.
That's right.
Ixon collected some samples from the privy and discovered a switch basically, and
I think let's just revisit what you said for a moment. So Ixon recovered some samples from the privy. That tells you all you need to know about this PC Ixon.
Yeah, it was gross. And then he pressed the button and it opened a door and there was a smaller room, which we all proceeded into, in which lied a chest that was
Beautiful
trapped.
chest.
Ixen did discover that it was trapped, but was unable to disarm the trap.
I believe he rolled a 1.
Yeah.
If memory serves on his check traps.
He actually used one of his advantages to try to, and it still didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so then that's when the scythes slashed out at him and hit him in the face. But the chest we did open and there was a description about like what was inside.
There's a bunch of shiny stuff in there.
There is indeed.
There was a gown and some
shiny stuff.
chainmail and stuff. So
Knife,
yeah.
I think, or sword.
we didn't
some
really get to
blade.
examine it much because then there was sounds and we ended. So the like roaring sound underneath.
Very good. Excellent. All right. So we now resume. And as a reminder for those of you tuning in, what they're on top of was this strange ancient structure. It looked like a skull hundreds of feet high of pure stone that was in the midst of the sea, about 100 yards off of shore. And there was a hastily erected goblin structure, a rickety wooden palisade atop that stone skull. And that's where they have been exploring. That's where they found Rip Nugget. And they're still atop that stone skull here in this room where they find the chest. So we will go ahead and I will stop this music and start. We love Sirenscape here. We use Sirenscape almost every stream. And we're going to get that started.
Right.
All right. So you stand in front of the chest. You see the glimmering coins, all the things I referenced before. A hem of what looks like an almost a sea foam colored gown, a blade, a bit of chain, maybe mail or something that pokes up. You see some gemstones scattered atop it as well.
I say we split it. I've changed my mind.
I go and I just look through it looking for magical items, bypassing the treasures.
Okay. So you see the alchemist kind of nudges Solomon out of the way with his fresh scar across his cheek. He starts rummaging like he's looking for something specifically. Roll d20.
6 plus what? My perception.
Yeah.
It is updated now, and it is a 9.
That's a good reminder. So everybody leveled up last time, I think. So let's do a quick check, and let me get perception. I don't think armor class has changed, but let's go ahead and do perception and armor class for everyone. We'll start over here with you.
19 and 12 now, plus 12.
Okay.
19 and 1.
Okay.
12 and 9.
It used to be a -1, so.
That's better.
Armor class?
Yeah, armor class first.
18.
Okay, and perception.
6.
6. Outstanding. All right. You rummage around. You feel like as you're searching, you see there's tons of copper in this chest. There are several pieces of silver, a scattering of gold. Many of these what look like petty stones, malachite perhaps. The only thing you see that even looks remotely non-mundane is a holy symbol of Serene. It's a chain with a symbol on the bottom of it. Everything else looks, quite normal, like goblin recovery treasure.
I try to count up how much it is.
Okay. So you start pulling out coins.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you start you realize there are thousands of coins in this chest. So are you doing this by yourself or what?
I just scoop of what I think is the fourth, and I take a fourth of it for myself.
Alright, take a fourth.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're just randomly scooping?
But I take like what I think is
Yeah.
a little bit more than a fourth. Slightly more. Like, not noticeably more than a fourth, but just enough.
All right, so I'm going to give you... I'll send you each a text of what you recover. And I'm going to sort of semi-randomize, since you have semi-randomized the way you've done this. And this is the great part of digital technology. If I were doing this in the late 1970s, I would have had to pull you out of the room. All right, here we go. So let's start with you, Cade. Ixon. You were first. You find...
Erda. Does that... The gown... Does that interest you at all?
What does it look like other than the color? Once you're done doing that.
So as you're asking the question, you look, you see it's like a light blue with a tint of green. It's silk with silver trim. It looks quite valuable.
I could possibly keep it for wearing. I like a nice dress and I do not have one currently, so I will take it.
There you go.
So
Kate, are you interested in anything else in here?
What else was in there?
Some chainmail and
There's a suit of it's
a sword?
a chainmail. It's a scimitar, so a slightly curved blade scimitar. Also, you find a pair of manacles.
No, you're a pirate.
Oh.
Wait,
A pair of manacles, like expertly crafted. Like these are fine, well-made manacles.
I'll take the manacles.
Okay. Put them-
Cade, you're a pirate. You should have the
That-
scimitar.
Is this...
It's a pirate weapon.
Alright.
If you're a real pirate, you would know that.
But it's so called something else.
A cutlass.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
finishing sending out the treasure here. Thank you for bearing with us on the viewers. Okay, and quickly two more coming. So you see, oh, let's go! Thank you very much.
Cayuzo.
Kai, let me scroll up here. I don't see the name. Not coming up there.
It's on the chat. It's in the chat.
Oh, okay. It doesn't come up here too. All right. Cayuza 914. Thank you. We appreciate you watching us for a couple of months, and we are just getting started today. All right. So I've got treasure to the first of the two, and let me go here to boom, boom. All right. So in addition to the copper and the gold, we had the gown that was taken by Irda, and we have the manacles taken by Solomon, and we had the scimitar and the chainmail shirt. Anyone do anything with that?
If you don't take it, I'll
I
take it.
got the chainmail shirt.
I'll take the cutlass.
It's a scimitar, but...
Cutlass! Well, is it a cutlass or a
It's a-
scimitar?
A scimitar will kind of like a cutlass. I'll
Yeah,
work.
they
I'll,
look
yeah.
A cutlass
Yeah,
is like the shipped version of a scimitar.
I'll work. I'll call it the same for your. purposes.
I grabbed the chainmail shirt, and I see how heavy or light it is.
Okay, it's you feel it. It's human sized. Obviously, was of no value to these goblins. It's pretty heavy. Not poorly made. Just standard fare chainmail shirt.
What is Solomon wearing?
I'm wearing chainmail.
And so am I.
I give it to Cade.
I'll take me some chainmail.
Like if I have to.
May I see the holy symbol?
The who?
Sarenrai. The holy symbol that is in the chest. I would like to see that.
Can Nixon grab it?
May I look at it?
Or is it like a symbol in the chest, or is it like
It's
a
a-
It's
physical?
on a
necklace,
chain.
it's a-
Yeah, it's a symbol on a chain.
Sure.
Okay, so I pick it up. I mean, I would recognize what it is because Sarenrai is fairly well known among my
Mhm.
people. Would this be of any use to me, or is this just something we should bring with us for possibly giving
Yeah.
to
So,
someone?
what's your roll a religion check,
Okay.
and then also roll
Okay,
an appraisal check.
Okay, I have both. Hold on, let me see. Knowledge, religion is a +2.
Quick sound check. Everyone hearing all the players? Da, da, Let us know if anyone sounds quiet.
16 for religion, and
Okay.
let's see, for appraising is a +5. Let's not knock this out of the tray this time. 18 on appraisal.
Okay, so you do in fact recognize this is certainly of Serenray. It has her radiant sort of crown atop it. We'll see if we can show that on this. Yeah, that's not bad. Shows on the stream. That's what's on the end of the necklace. And while you don't sense anything sort of arcane or divine imbued upon it, it is quite valuable. It's fashioned predominantly in gold, and you think this is probably worth at least 100 pieces of gold.
Should grab that.
Some chump change.
Well, I will hold it, and perhaps we can find a cleric who might want to have this, and we can make some profit off of it.
What if could we use it like tear it down and make something fancy that we all have in our as a piece of our armor?
A holy symbol? No! No. No.
Why not?
No.
Well,
It's a holy symbol. No.
I
What
think
if-
we should worry about the thing growling on the other side of the door now.
But,
Yes.
maybe. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
In saying that, I am going to cast True Strike on Solomon.
Oh.
Ixon steps over
He's not true strike.
and
Yeah. I was like, what?
he takes out a flask
He's done with you.
and he dribbles some fluid across your sword, and you see it lights up.
And then,
Thank you, Seekzilla, for the points for the DM. That's a useful thing for disadvantage for a player, perhaps.
oh no, you got advantage. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So I then. Oh yeah, I cast skin, or I drink a potion, and then I'll describe what it does. It's a-
All right,
it's a new
so-
spell.
You see,
Okay.
after he drips some of this flask upon your blade kind of smokes and lights for a moment. Then he turns and he pulls another flask out of his robe.
He coughs. He
What's it look
coughs. Oh, the potion. It looks like it's like a pale skin-looking like liquid. Like it looks like Solomon's skin when he drinks it.
Tasty.
And he drinks it. He coughs. It's obviously really
Smoothie.
thick. Yeah, it's really thick. And he gulps it down.
What's it taste like?
What?
What's it taste like?
Skin.
Why? Okay.
How would you know what that tastes like?
You see the skin starts to hop off of his bones.
Oh.
And then this whole layer of skin just comes off and is standing before you. It's called skin send. So like it's like alternate image, except
Right.
it's my skin, and then now it's just my bones and my flesh.
Oh my goodness.
So
What?
you see the most grotesque image you've ever seen. Ray leaps off of his shoulder. The little tiny 8-inch goblin runs to a wall and starts shivering. And you see this sloughed skin standing erect.
Solomon just kind of looks
Oh.
at between Ixon's bones and his skin, just like.
I'm actually not sure which one of these can talk. I don't know if it's me or the skin, so hold on.
Oh my goodness. Is
Have I been drinking too much rum?
I think this is probably the most horrifying thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're all mortified.
Oh, this is terrible. Now there's two of them.
No.
I got two meat.
Okay,
Meats now.
so
Ray
what
continues
is the
to-
point of this? Why?
And which are you talking to, the skin or the skeleton? It's got the flesh. It's got, I mean, the muscle.
Hey.
Hey, let's go,
Oh.
Kazuya! Thank you for the cheer. Insanity rolls. Yes.
I think I'm talking to the muscly and bony one,
Okay.
not the skin.
All right. So you see these eyes kind of roll in fleshy sockets over towards you, leering teeth, musculature attached to the jaw.
Why?
So
Okay, so you have difficulty speaking. Like so stiffen your lips, because you have no lips. You have a tongue, you have vocal cords, all that, but you have no lips.
I can't do my accent. They will now attack him, not me. And
So
he possesses.
Yeah, say the letter P without lips.
Everything.
All right, so like it's roll d20 and add your intelligence bonus.
I got advantage.
Would you roll a 20?
Yeah, not 20.
Okay, all right. So somehow, like the rest of you, it just sounds like garbage. Like, but you somehow are able to understand what he's saying. That he's implying this is a.
Oh wait! I call it back over to me. I call my skin back.
You
over
see
to
the
me.
skin kind of.
No, it's fully like animated.
Squishing. I know squishing sound as it walks back over to him.
And then I just like lay out my.
How is it
stuff,
standing
and
with
then
no bones?
Are you asking why is there magic in the world? And then he's back on to me now. But
Okay.
then, it's like 1 hour per level. I can send it out.
Okay.
At any point in time.
All right, so you see the skin kind of makes strange sounds. You gotta think like American Werewolf in London in reverse. Anachronisms are only allowed for DM descriptions to create images in players' minds. And then it's like it snaps back into place on his body.
Irda slightly turns a little green and kind of like.
Well, as I was studying, I was very upset that my skin was cut in half, and I was thinking to myself, how could I cut my skin without me getting hurt? Why not detach my skin from my body? So now...
Okay, so, but what if, hypothetically speaking, you send your skin out, and some big bad guy, very large sword, just and slices one of the skin arms off? What happens when you reattach the skin? Does it stay off?
It grows back.
Why?
That's the nature of the potion I have made.
Okay. But like, what if the skin gets eviscerated completely and it's just in
Choppity chop.
pieces?
I haven't thought that far in advance. We will see.
I'm not saying it's gonna. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm a little worried.
So now you are all, you've gone through this sort of macabre scene. The chest is empty. You've all got fat sacks of coin on your persons. Kay, did you put the chainmail armor on?
Well, I don't.
You just kind of stuck it in your pack for now?
Yeah, I don't know like what my sword is or anything. Like I don't know if I want it or anything
Okay,
like that.
so thank you, Shane O'Mac. We appreciate the cheer. And yes, that was weird. And let's go, Seekzilla. So you look at the sword, and you see it is very
You got
well
advantage.
fashioned.
Oh.
You
your
have
accent.
wielded
Thank you.
many blades in your time.
That
This
is
one
much
feels light
appreciated.
and nicely balanced in your hand. Roll d20 for me.
Advantage.
11.
Okay. Yes, you have enough. You don't recognize the nature of the crafter, but you recognize the nature of the craftsmanship. This is a masterwork sword, so it gives you +1 to hit and +1 damage. Non-magical, but just so finely made that it has those bonuses.
Oh,
So
I start
Would-
looking at the door.
the danger of this spell.
Would you like me to appraise your armor, Kate? Because I can do that for you.
oh,
To look at the armor that you got.
Yes.
Would you like me to do that for you? Okay, so I'll appraise it, see if I
Yeah.
can tell anything about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Ah! It crashed. It was a 12.
Yeah, so as Irda looks over the chain mail, she kind of pulls on the links. You see this is of standard sort of crude fashioning good chainmail, but nothing special about it. Just a suit of full standard chain.
Was it heavy?
I mean, it's a bit heavy,
They weigh
but not.
40 pounds.
Yeah, it's not too heavy for you to wear, but it's
So, are we going to go into the other room?
I say we do. Okay, Yerda?
It would give you the chainmail, the stats on that is a 6 is the AC
Yeah.
bonus.
Yeah, so you would have a 6 AC bonus as opposed.
With this spell that you just...
So that might give you more.
Thank you, Camelise.
Is that something that like only you can drink and live? Or?
Yes. So,
What do you
Basically,
wearing?
I've
I'm
taken
currently wearing
cells
leather.
from my own skin,
Padded or regular?
put it into a
Except leather.
potion.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe I could.
I can help you
So
with
like
this.
if you got cells from my skin and put it in a potion, could you...
Possibly. I haven't thought about it.
It's interesting. I don't think I'd want to.
I think it'd be up to the gods. DM, would I be able to do it?
You don't know.
I think it is far too dangerous to try it on a simple man such as you.
Simple?
Yes, simple.
What does that mean?
You're strong, but you're simple, Solomon.
Are you calling me stupid? You wouldn't be wrong. I don't know about simple.
You'd beat me in an arm wrestling match,
That's true.
but not a
So
battle of the
you're-
wits.
Well, who
Regular
needs the
leather is
wits
a
when you have a
plus
good old
2, so
sword?
you're gaining 4
That's what I always
AC.
say.
That's
But where would that go on the armor
I've never
class?
heard
Like,
you say that.
I'm at 18.
Look,
What
have
do
you
I-
ever seen a
that
man as
means your
attractive
base
as
is
I am?
16, so you add
yes,
much
much more.
4 more
When,
to
In
that.
fact,
Where? Who?
you're looking at him right now. This minus the scar.
Is there no dexterity hindrance?
Did you just see... did
there
you
might
look at
be
your
like
own
those
skin when
girls,
it
right?
left your body? Not exactly the most appealing face.
Yes, it was muscle and tendons and.
No, that was your face. I meant the skin.
Yes, yes.
But it still is your face.
It looks very nice to me. It's nice skin.
Yeah.
Minus the scar.
I don't know, I think the scarf is a little bit of character.
I like this
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, look at me. I'm not just this little baby that just throws potions from the back.
It does make you look a little more tough.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Looks like you actually get into, fights every now and then. Instead of playing with your little...
At least I've
I mean-
never lost an arm wrestling match to a girl.
Have you ever been in an arm wrestling
Very
match
nice,
with a girl?
Seekzilla.
No,
It's,
I've avoided those.
Look, I'm just saying, if you arm wrestle her, you
Yeah,
know where I'm coming from.
Maximum
I could arm wrestle.
maximum dex
Could
bonus
you?
is a plus 2,
Oh, yeah.
and then the armor check penalty is minus 5.
Okay,
Yeah, so-
didn't I beat you in an arm wrestling match with these bulging muscles of mine?
Alright, who's going first?
Me! Wait, you. You're the strongest, you can go first.
Sorry, I've been helping kids with the business all
I
day, so I have
cast
no idea
Iron
what's
Skin
going
on Irda.
Oh.
So,
Or I have her.
alright, so he leans over and he hands you a small flask.
Okay.
It looks like it's filled with liquid lead, almost like mercury in a bottle.
Okay, so you have given me this flask, but last time you gave me a flask, it did not end well for me. So are you telling me this one is not going to be awfully sticky like the last one?
I'll take it.
No, it won't.
Is this better for me?
It is
Okay,
better.
so I will drink it.
With trust, Irda quaffs the potion, and you. She falls over. Her innards drop out of her. You see, suddenly your skin hardens, and you feel a sense of invincibility.
This is very
You have
pleasing.
+5 to your armor class.
Oh, thank you. How long does it last?
1 minute per level. So
Okay.
we need to go in quick
Okay,
and
let's
destroy
go.
this guy.
Let's go.
Shane O'Mac, very
So it's
nice.
plus
I'll go
5,
right behind you,
you
Yeda.
said? Okay, temporarily +5.
All right, so the door
Done.
looms before you. The chest sits empty.
Is it a grand door? Or is it just
No, just a rickety wooden goblin door.
Let's go.
All right, let's
Solomon
do
is
this.
just itching right now.
Okay.
He's ready.
Okay, so you open the door. Solomon does.
She does.
She does.
I'm behind
Okay,
her.
before I open the door, I just want
You
to
know
check
this
for
who's
traps
stronger than
really
him.
quickly.
I'm just saying, if she wants to be the strongest
making
one,
sure
I'll
that-
let her
I'm
take
making
first.
sure
Take
the
the
door's
lead.
not
All right,
trapped.
so Irda, you kind of look around the door. You're looking for any sort of
I challenge.
catches, levers, wires,
I'm a
anything
wicked
that
man.
looks dangerous.
Yes. changed your ways, man.
You don't
Been
see anything.
emasculated.
It looks safe to you.
Okay, well, I will try the door then.
The door opens,
I really need to oil these
and you
hinges.
see yawning darkness and stairs leading downward.
Do any of us have a torch?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Arr, I
I
do.
do.
I always have a torch because I like me lights.
Do you still have alcohol?
Actually,
Always have that.
I'm going to cast dancing lights down the stairs because that is my new cantrip.
I was going to say we make a little bit of a light show.
Yes. So
I'm not drinking
I'm
alcohol.
I'm sending the dancing lights down the stairs. There are.
So we are purposefully dimming the light a bit. Don't think this is a mistake.
Okay, give me spare cloth.
You see lights dance down the stairwell, brightening it just a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit in front of us. I want to be able to move it as we go.
Fancy.
So there are 4 little
Is the
lights.
alcohol in a bottle or is it like
It's in my flask.
a flask? Does the flask shatter? Actually, no.
You aren't doing anything with me rum.
Okay. I won't.
The stairway.
Rum is for drinking only.
You notice as you look down the stairway, it's no longer the sort of wooden structures of the goblin. You realize this is now going inside the stone, which made this giant sort of dome-ish, almost massive skull obelisk that sat in the ocean.
What if the Kraken comes and
Oh.
gets us?
Well,
Arr.
Well,
as
Are
long
there
as
any? Did we see any openings in the rock? Like, was
not that I could tell from the outside, but we only saw the back, and it looked smooth, so I do not
well,
know.
if it looks like a skull, would it be reasonable to assume that there are eye sockets?
That is very possible. I would not know, though. I'm not to guess. But we at least have a little light in front of us now, so that we can see where we're going, and we can always keep our eyes out for openings to the sea.
Smart. Onwards.
Okay.
Aye,
And I
aye.
I start down the
Mate.
stairs.
You head down the stairs. All right, give me your marching order.
Me first.
And go ahead and move that dice tray back for a moment. We're going to change the scene here.
Who's following me?
I'm second.
Super
Yo
quick.
ho, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Here we go down the stairs, a pirate's life for me.
Is that it?
See the dancing lights on the walls, pirate's life for me. Here we
They're
go
actually
down the
floating
stairs,
over
a
heads
pirate's life for
on
me.
the walls.
Yo ho, yo
Just
ho.
continue.
Well, at least we're announcing
Okay.
our presence
Oh.
to everyone in here.
Hey, that was the most beautiful singing I've ever heard in the past 10 minutes.
Aye.
Specifically in
Thank
the
you,
past 10
matey.
minutes.
Just as specifically.
Only 10 minutes.
I don't know, I feel pretty good after that one.
All right,
Thank you,
you
mate.
head down the stairs, and you find yourself emerging now not in the wooden structures of goblins, but you're now in an all-stone structure. These walls are hewn quite smoothly, almost more like a man-made structure. And these would be the stairs
Okay,
here
over
that
there.
you came down. So go ahead and place your marching
Oh,
order
here.
there, kind of coming off the stairs.
Sorry, I'm trying to get everybody
No,
in.
that's
How
a
dare you.
that's a pretty quick scene change, I'll say.
Seriously, they
What
need to
was that?
nail their hinges.
What was that noise?
All right, and you see
I don't know.
as you step into the room, let me describe what you see.
Okay.
So,
And I've kept the dancing lights just with us as we've gone.
all right, and the dancing lights, they kind of waft around the room. They're now joined by a light from a lantern that hangs on one wall,
Okay.
represented by the light that's there.
Okay.
And this lantern is hooded, and the hood has been pulled up. It hangs from a large peg. You see several rickety doors in the room. There are several discarded pelts of dogs used as rugs piled in one corner.
Horrible.
Lovely people around here.
Landlubbers.
Landlubbers! Arr!
Let's keep it down, okay? Let's keep it down.
Something feels wrong here.
I checked the room.
Why do they kill dogs? What do you
All right.
think?
I would like to search if I can.
I mean, also it could be the fact that we're inside of a giant skull right now. That might be throwing me off.
Then why'd you ask?
I didn't ask. I stated a statement.
So
State.
I stated a statement. Irda, as you look around, oh, thank you very much, Zilla, for the sub. Hey, if you're enjoying the stream and you're watching right now, please do the same. Follow us, sub us, tell your friends. We have a giveaway coming at 230 followers. Right now we're at 226. So 4 more followers, you get a blue box t-shirt with this slick logo. So tell your friends. All right. You see bits of food that are decaying in corners, quite old. You, however, Ixon, notice scrape marks on the floor. It looks like there was once perhaps furniture or something in this room. It's now gone.
Can I go? I'd like to go investigate
I check under
the
the
doors. Not like open them, just see them.
I check under the rugs, the pelts.
Okay. All right. So Ixon goes over. He starts rummaging through the pelts of the dogs, looking for anything. You walk over, Solomon, and you look at the doors, and you see that these doors, while the basic structure is stone and quite strong, hang on just 1 second here. Quick message. But you see these doors look like they were perhaps more recently erected. They look like goblin, just like weak, rickety doors hung.
Are they wooden?
The wooden doors hung on the hinges, but on these solid stone walls.
Do I see any like scratch marks or scrapes or nails or anything like keeping any of them shut?
It's a lot of doors.
No, like as you look at each door, and go ahead and roll d20 for me. Ixon, you peering underneath one of the
19.
Peering underneath one of the pelts, and our camera froze. Okay, let's just see if a quick re-add will fix it.
Oh my. Do the transition thing so it's not.
Okay, all right.
You can do it on there though. Remove it first, and then go to the transition thing.
Hang on 1 second here. We had a camera freeze, which we're gonna see if
I'm
it's.
gonna do it. Yeah, I got it.
Wait, hang on. We might need. Like, sometimes you don't need to do anything. Let's just see if it'll come right back.
No.
Do you know which one
New
it
source
was?
instead. Add new source instead.
Well, I know, but sometimes if the source is there already, you don't want to do that. No. Alright, so, what'd you roll?
19.
You're not actually trying to listen, but it's almost hard not to hear. As you move past these doors, you hear behind the door on my right, your left.
This one?
No. Sorry, here. And so I thought you were looking at these 3 first.
Oh, yeah, they're
Okay, so behind this door, you hear what sound like high-pitched chattering. And behind this door, you hear deep baritone grunting.
We might want to keep it down out here, guys. Very, very quiet.
May I detect magic?
Okay, and is that a 60-foot radius?
60-foot cone.
60-foot cone. In which direction are you pointing it?
Let me point it kind of, if I'm here, in the general direction.
This direction,
that way,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
I want to eventually do it all the way around the room. It's a cantrip, so I can use it.
Okay, all right. So as you point it in that direction, you sense there is magic behind this door.
That's all right. And I just want to keep doing that.
Okay, you kind of rotate the cone around.
As I move around the room.
Okay.
Just to see what's going on.
Right.
It's like you're a lighthouse.
So you see,
Basically, yes.
yeah, you see Irda's concentrating, and she turns. She's kind of holding her hands out, and she moves around the room.
So,
That's the only place that you sense any sort of immediate vicinity magic.
Alright, so I will quietly say to the group, very quietly, this door over here, there is a source of magic
This one.
coming through that way. Yes.
when I was over there just a second ago, I heard some very deep rumbling, and then behind the door on the left, I'm assuming it was goblins, just lots of high-pitched chattering.
I know it.
Go ahead and make a roll d20 for me, please.
11.
Yeah, so you have heard enough goblins to know that what you heard behind that door did sound like goblins, but more high-pitched. And the uttering sounded even more feral than a goblin. Like it didn't even sound like there were words being formed.
Behind which door?
It's the door on the left. It was very guttural, not guttural, very high-pitched and savage. Even more so than just a regular goblin is.
So,
But
Magic door or high-pitched squeals.
magic door with something with a very deep voice behind it, or high-pitched, savage squealing.
I say we knock out the first door first.
There's still
Non-magic one.
2 other doors. I mean, we still have the doors on the sides
And
that we could look at.
there is one in the middle.
And the one in the middle, I
There's that
didn't-
one there too.
This was I think.
No, we came down this way.
Oh, these are the
This is
stairs.
the
Oh, these
stairs.
are stairs. That's
So
cool.
there are doors.
I didn't hear anything behind the middle door on that wall. It's not saying there isn't anything. I just
Yeah, I think actually I don't like to do this often, but the comment from the streamer, goblins on helium, Seekzilla, would be a good way to describe what you heard behind that door.
okay. Okay. How long does my the true strike last for?
it's all day.
All day. Okay.
Oh yeah, her iron skin is fading. Let's
So-
go for the first door.
So that's a good quick timeout. That's a good example of where we can improve roleplay, and I'm not like chastening. Now you could say OOC like out of character and ask it that way, but what you really want to do is have Solomon in Solomon's voice say, "This enchantment that you placed upon my blade, what is the length of its power?" You know, something more like that, and then you respond. You don't know the word true strike. That's kind of the meta side of it. So just try to, as much as you can, stay in character. All right, resume.
So left door now.
Yes.
Here I go.
Okay. So I'm going to this door. Yes.
And I'm directly behind you.
Okay.
So there is clearly no gender bias in this party. They are bravely sending the woman forth first.
I have
All right.
proved I am tough.
Yes. Irda, you step to the door, and you even just without even trying to listen, you can hear this chattering behind the door as you grab the handle and open it. Suddenly the cacophony grows louder, and you see the walls of the room are lined with small wooden cages. Hang on here, let me just do a quick room on
Some of you
this.
may die, and that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Thanks, Solomon.
I'm kidding, Irda.
So bold, Solomon, so bold.
Irda, I'll be right behind you, and if you ever need anything, I will be there to stab something.
Good.
Okay,
I'm
and
glad.
so
Smack something.
as you open the door,
Glad
I'm
they
going to
can
get that
rely
door
on
will in fact open. Here we go.
Yes, of course.
Make
Okay.
sure we're catching that
You
door
have your
on the
new blade
screen.
ready.
You open
I
the
always
door,
got me cutlass ready.
and you see mounds of straw inside each cage, and then you hear the. You see 4 goblin toddlers locked in cages. Some look almost like infants. Some maybe just a year old, maybe half-size goblins.
Do I throw it now? I can't see in the room.
No, 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 no,
Yes!
no, 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 no,
That
no.
way we don't have to kill them individually.
They see you and.
Cut!
Okay, stay in character. You see the.
I was.
Oh, no, okay, so you see the 2 older ones in one cage. They see you. They go to the doors. And their teeth come out and they look feral. The two littler ones, they're barely tiny toddlers. They come to the edge of their cages and they hold out hands, and you can see they look emaciated.
I look at Ray.
I say we go to the other door, and we'll take care of this later, but this cannot be the source of whatever is happening here.
Right.
It's probably behind the door that the magic was.
Oh yes, let's go check that.
Alright, cool. I don't want this on my conscience. Let's leave, please.
So you just close the door.
Yes.
We will return to this later.
Out of sight, out of mind.
You hear the little toddlers.
Chad is telling us to save them, guys. Why are we like this? We didn't save them.
Okay, all right. So
we will save them, but
you close
We
the
got
door.
monsters to kill.
You close the door.
I have to go
Ooh.
back for my
Um,
We'll get them after, guys. Just we'll get them after.
promise.
Okay.
We will not leave.
All right. Well,
Let's go.
Let's check the other door. Yes.
I thought you said they sounded savage.
They did!
They were baby goblins.
They sounded feral!
Son of it. They're baby goblins.
I didn't know they were babies when the door was shut.
You are no longer our party listener.
Okay, let's go through this other door.
Ida is the only party listener from now on.
And I just go.
You have been demoted to strictly blade swinging.
While
son of
Ixon
a-
is lecturing Solomon, I'm just walking on.
All right, you're to go ahead and move your PC over to
Okay, I'm going to open this door.
the. All right, as you step to the door, go ahead and roll d20 for me.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Are you two coming with us?
No, we're splitting the party. That's all
Natural
right, of
20.
course.
A natural 20.
Natural 20.
You
Which one?
hear a guttural voice. Roll d20, add your language
Okay.
bonus, please.
I just want to say,
comprehend all languages.
I do too. Actually.
Shane O'Mac has a good point. Baby goblins grow up
Can
to be
I
regular
cast comprehend
goblins.
languages
And-
before I?
Not all goblins are bad, Shinomac. This goblin is.
We could train the
Precious.
goblins to be our little...
That's horrible. That's torture.
No.
Or would it
It's-
be?
Okay, no. So, yeah, you
Would I-
can. You can take the time to go ahead and do that. So,
Okay, I'm gonna-
you see, go close the door again. So,
Okay,
you see as
yeah.
Irda steps to the door, she stops suddenly
Because I hear the voice,
and she
Irda.
makes a motion with her hands.
and I'm comprehending all spoken and written languages.
I should have prepared that spell. There's no
Uh,
need for two of us in
yeah.
the party to have that.
4 plus my language knowledge is.
I don't think you need that if you cast a
Oh,
spell.
okay.
Yeah.
Then there we go.
Okay. So, you hear behind the door in this, it's a non-human, and so I'm going to have a difficult time even replicating it, but I'll do my best. You hear something like, "Get off me, wenches. I hear something. Brutharthemis will smash!" And then you hear the sound of, like, metal or something.
Oh, and I'm going to say it sounds like there is a man or some sort of bestial type man by the voice, and he is talking to women. He said winches, and
favorite word.
and
My type of
he
man.
demanded that they get off of him and that he was going to smash something. That's what I understood. But there were some chain sounds too. So.
Man,
Hey, thank you for the sub, Ethan Evie.
it's really hard not to do the anachronism when you're describing smash, Hulk smash.
All right, you get one. All right, now move on.
But
All right, I'm good now. I was holding that in.
I think we should still probably proceed, but
Let's go.
all right, open the door.
As you open the door, you see a very strange scene before you. You see a giant creature. Everyone roll d20 for me. If anyone has, just let's do knowledge.
Nature,
Yeah, nature knowledge.
24.
No.
All right.
She thinks it's a fairy.
Yeah,
She rolled a 1.
It's an 8. It's an 8 for me.
You see
Also an 8.
a massive. Okay, so you see a massive creature. It stands almost 7 feet tall.
It's a bugbear.
It's finished snapping on its armor. It had been clearly disrobed
He's
for a
bad
moment,
fairy.
and
It's a mighty big fairy.
and
It's an ugly one too.
You should listen to me. I've got knowledge on these things.
Looks like he was dropped one too many times on his head as a child.
all right, and as he
Trapped in those cages.
hang on
that's
one
what
second here,
happens.
we're building this out just a second, and you see he's got a massive sword actually that he's wielding, not a mace as depicted here.
Baby goblins as cannon fodder.
No, that is not acceptable.
But they're goblins.
They're babies.
They're goblins!
They're babies.
Our baby goblins become big goblins, and big goblins kill us.
Yes, but
And we kill them.
Aye.
they're babies.
Don't listen to them, Ray. We know
They're
you're
babies.
Ray, I love you. You're an amazing creature.
Ray is quite
Questionable
amazing.
background.
I mean,
All right,
it would
so,
turn out bad too if you
as
were
you
left in
open the
cages like
door,
that all the time.
That's not the only thing that catches your attention. Let me get the camera on this
I got
quickly
it, I
here.
got it.
No, I got it right there. That's not the only thing that catches your attention. You see, as the goblin, or probably as the you recognize this as a bugbear. He stands up. You hear him utter, he's like saying his own name. It rings a bell for the two of you. You've heard this name somewhere before. But you also see there's a bed behind him. On the bed, you see two goblin women. There's a horrible scent. It's like vinegar and flowers. And they're dressed in like scantily clad like lingerie garments laying on this bed behind him. He stumbles forward.
Ray.
I mock him. I go, smash!
Initiative!
15. Oh. I did not win initiative.
Oh, 8.
25.
Okay. All right. So let's go around the room this way, please. 25.
Yes.
Solomon.
I believe 15. 1 second. Yes, 15.
Ooh, a +7 initiative.
Everybody, let me know on the stream if the sound balance is
I'll get
okay
good
between the
initiative.
music and the
Okay.
players. I want to make sure you're hearing the music, but I'm not overpowering them. All right. So what was it?
15.
15.
8.
8.
I got the initiative by 4.
All right.
Yes, obviously.
All right. Irda.
Alright. I see this creature before me and this very disturbing scene. And I feel the rage build up inside of me, and my ethereal glow begins to brighten, and you see kind of a ghostly appearance of angel wings unfurl behind me as I go into a rage.
So as she screams rage,
That's why I should be
you
shipmates.
you see they're not physical. They're almost like a ghostly apparition of angelic wings that sprout from her back.
That is amazing.
Okay, so now I
I
have
want to do
So you
that.
attack?
yeah, and I have +2 to strength and constitution, +1 on will saves, and -2 to my AC. So my temporary AC goes down to a 22.
Okay, got it. 22.
Yes. I don't know how much longer that lasts, but that's what I'm at. Okay, so I'm going to attack. Let's see how this goes. No, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this one. Yeah.
Rolling the die in the dragon
19?
crafting guild. 19.
+6 is.
That is a hit.
Yes.
You step forward with your blade. A righteous rage
battle axe.
flows through your battle axe. Slams down into you. Hit him right square in the chest.
Okay.
He's got a solid piece of armor. You feel the axe bite through the armor with the force of your blow.
Alright, and so that's a d8. Whoops. 7 + 4 is 11 points of damage.
Blood spurts out from his breastplate. He screams this guttural, mighty roar. And he chops down on you. Yes.
22. Correct.
Got it. No, and I was wrong. Actually, I said he has a sword. I was wrong. He does have a giant flail, so it looks exactly like what you see there. So it's a big, massive piece of wood with a spiked metal ball on top of it that he swings down. So disappointing. You easily step out of the way. Boom! The flail slams on the ground. Solomon, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge this hideous beast to a fight. And in doing so, everyone gets a +1 to the melee attacks.
Let me hear your challenge.
haven't thought that far ahead.
Spontaneous challenge.
Beast! I will slay you.
Okay, we got to put that as like a meme or something.
Beast,
Beast, I will slay you.
So we have I have a tale to tell. Beast, I will slay you. I haven't got one yet.
All right, so
We're collecting now.
and does that require a full round action, or is that a swift action?
No, I think it's just.
Okay, all right. So everyone gets a +1 to their armor class.
And my damage was actually 12, not 11.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I forgot to add my my constitution. I mean my strength bonus from
Oh,
my
okay.
rage.
All right. So it was a total of 12. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And as I'm saying this, I would like to. I'm gonna run up towards him and take my beautifully crafted sword and just go swing it at him.
All right.
'Cause he's
You
ugly.
you sprint through and you feel your blade. It's like there's a pull, like a string tied to the end of it that just hones in on him. Roll d20.
Oh,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. So as long as it wasn't a 1, all I'm looking for is a 1 or a 20 because you have that OOC true strike on it, right?
I forgot. I actually do have my saying. It's I'm glad I'm such a weird guy and I can touch poop. So.
All right, so you see Solomon comes careening through the door. His blade whoom, strikes true. Roll damage.
My DA is.
Yep, this one. The one that looks like a diamond.
So ugly. This one's for you, Winston. You slide. It's a 9.
9 points of damage.
9 points.
Okay.
Well, no, 10 because my challenge.
10. All right, so your blade slices into his shoulder. Thunk! He curses. Sort of a guttural sound comes from his throat. Ixon.
Alright. You see Ixon, he kind of like, his head kind of twitches to the side a few bit times, and then you see real black wings spurt from his back, and he, like, they kind of look like bat wings, and he flutters up, and he casts, and he drinks, and spits out a spell.
Okay, so now just to be clear, the flask that you drank to create the wings, that's not a full round action?
No, it's my new discovery. It's a feat.
Okay.
So like it's a swift action.
Like a swift
Fly.
action? Okay,
Yeah, it's
alright.
called fly.
All right. You see Ixon suddenly flutters on almost bat-like wings. Now hold on. Actually, no, I'm going to have to say, so you can get behind Solomon, but this is a very small room. You already have Irda and Solomon standing in front of the bugbear. So you can't, and it's like low, like 8-foot ceiling, so you can't really fly over the top. So you can fly right up behind them. And or you can go here, and you can still be in range for
I mean,
your...
if it's 8 feet, I could probably be like right here, right? Because like they're not 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, like you can be like float. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you can still get a shot, but you can't
Alright.
get right to him.
All right, I'm going to cast Breathe Fire. So I drink a potion and then I let out a breath of fire.
Okay. He quaffs a bright red potion.
Oh, let me see the DC. I mean, he might not even be able to get out of the way because it's such a small room.
Is this going to hit us?
No, that's why I flew up so it'd be like angled
Okay.
above y'all.
Just to make sure. I mean, I don't think Solomon knows since he's.
Reflex save, you get half. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Burn them all, let the gods sort them out.
16 points of damage.
Okay, and what's the DC?
It's a DC 17 reflex.
So, it is a small room, you're right.
I also want to get the winches behind him because it's a cone blast.
Alright, so the cone blast.
Not the winches.
Alright, so he turns at the last minute. He has a shield on one arm. He turns, he does block part of your fire with the shield, but he takes half damage. And you said it was 15?
16.
16, alright. The two, you see the two goblin women, they're clutching their gowns to themselves on the edge of the bed. Your fire. You see them singe and crackle. Ah! Smoke fills the room and billows. Smash!
I look at him and I say,
Cade, you see this burst of fire blossom from the room, and you smell burning flesh.
Do I know if there's room for me in that room?
There is no room.
I see there's no room, so I go over to the goblin babies and I throw them some pickles.
Okay, so Cade,
Poor kid.
Cade heads over off screen
Got
for a
nothing
moment
else
here.
To do with me time.
Cade, you hear the sounds of battle as you open the door. All right, initiative for the three of you.
Ooh.
So 16.
Nat 20 plus yes.
Yeah,
Need those
27.
20s for other
27.
rolls, sir.
I know.
All right, and
Like 12 arm wrestling.
what's that?
10.
10.
Arr.
And 16 for me.
Okay.
frightened
Yeah, I had
bugbears.
16, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Solomon, you have action.
So what I would like to trying to think my battle plan. So
What is your battle plan?
I don't know.
3.
I would like to. I want to
2.
run behind him and try and stab his back with my.
There's not
There's
room.
no room?
There's
Okay.
no room.
And I'm gonna slice it his one of his legs
All right.
at the
You
thigh.
swing your blade down. Roll d20.
3
Another
again.
3.
Oh.
Another 3. This time, it bangs
Yeah.
off his armor, doing no damage. He turns, and let's see
20
here.
for Chinese.
He swings at Irda. He brings his massive flail down. You can smell his fetid breath.
Oh, huzzah!
Hey, Daedra!
Let's go! Daedra's back! We haven't seen Daedra in a minute. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today, Daedra, and you joined us just in time for combat.
1, 2, 3, 4, so
2 each.
Boom!
One each.
The flail slams
each.
down, strikes you in the shoulder.
I need to
With my okay.
Yes, I have that modified. You
Both
take.
get an advantage.
Hang on here. Let me make sure I get this right. Oh, yep. You take 12 points of damage. It's like you feel a spike from the flail bites down into your arm.
And I barely feel it because of my rage, and I just kind of smirk at him.
Okay. And it is your attack.
Yes, it is, and I'm going to hit him back.
Roll
Oh,
d20.
Shane gave me
Let's go,
another
Shane
advantage.
O'Mac. I need that advantage, Shane.
Yes.
I need that. Thank you.
No, he doesn't. Don't listen to him.
I got 3 advantages now. I'm keeping
And
track. I
have
got 3.
4.
I've got 2.
13 plus 7 is 20.
That is a hit.
Yes. Okay.
Roll damage.
1d8 plus. So it's 11 points of damage. Oh!
Oh. Unbelievable. Describe the scene for me.
Yes. So I am looking very much like the Avenging Angel right now, and I take my axe and I just slice him in half.
As she leaps forward, her celestial wings kind of buffet. Her axe just cleaves this giant bugbear, splits through bone, through mail, through flesh. Ugh, his entrails spill out all over the ground. Slice!
I say to him.
And he thunks over on the ground. The room now is a stench, the smell of burning flesh, acrid goblin perfume, burnt linens, and the entrails of a bugbear spilled all over the floor.
Search the bugbear.
Where did Cade
Cade,
go?
as you throw pickles, you see at first the bars are far enough apart that if you get it just right, the pickles go through. A couple of them bounce off the side. You throw them in. The little ones, they just start falling on the pickles and devouring them. The 2 slightly older ones in the cage over, at first, they look at you suspiciously. One of them picks up a pickle. He throws it back at you. The other one punches him in the shoulder and grabs the pickle off the ground and starts eating it.
Where did
Okay.
I'm looking around.
You don't see
Where
any
is
sign.
Guy, what happened to Cade? Where is Cade?
I don't care. I checked the body of the bugbear.
So,
Erda. Where is I yell out, Cade?
and
Cade?
Aye, matey.
Where are you?
with
I'm over with the babies.
with a couple of with kind of like a couple of like soft like.
I'm training my pirate clan.
My rage fades. Because it's the rage spell and not the ability. I don't take
the fatigue afterwards.
I don't take fatigue.
All right. So you see as you're talking and you hear Cade's voice echoing from the other room, you hear the sound of like crunching and. Now, how many pickles did you have? I forget.
No, I got them.
Half dozen. Or
14.
no,
I think you had 14 pickles.
And then you threw one in Rib Nuggets for him, so 13.
13 pickles, all right. So you've used about 8 of your pickles now. You have 5 remaining.
I need to go fill me back.
I have pickles left.
Pickles rot easily, though.
Now they're all devouring and just scrounging on the floor of their cages. This pitiful sight of these tiny little goblin toddlers devouring these pickles. You see Ixon steps forward. The fumes and the acrid stench, the smoke still kind of like soots across the walls and the roof of this small room. The bed itself still is smoldering. Thank you, Cam, please. You step forward to his body, and you see he's got a flask on one leg that looks like he was fumbling with it as he fell. He's wearing studded leather armor, way too large for any human. He's got a massive flail. You see strapped across his back a huge composite longbow. Roll d20, please.
While this is happening, I'd like to go towards the back of the room and see if there's anything of note.
Do I
back
add
there in
anything
the
to
fire.
it?
Okay, hang on.
Move me out of the room. I'm actually going to walk out and just give myself a cure light wound since I took a little bit of damage during that fight.
Okay. All right. So
Weak.
Oh,
Irda steps out of the room.
1 plus 3.
It's too close. It doesn't like to focus on that.
Plus 3. Okay, I healed for 3 points.
Okay. All right. So you receive 3 points of healing from your spell. You step in the room, Solomon. The deeper you go, the more the stench, and you waft the smoke out of the way. You see the burnt and dead bodies of the goblin women on the bed. You recognize the bow as being of masterwork quality. It's a masterwork composite bow. It would require quite a bit of strength to even draw the string of this bow. And then you see a quiver on its back. And roll d20 and add appraisal.
Okay. 19.
Okay, and your identity. So you recognize these. There are 20 arrows in this quiver that are of normal quality, but there are 4. As you pull them out and you look at them, they look more finely fashioned with white shafts, and you feel there's an enchantment on them, which you're able to recognize as an elf bane enchantment.
Huh. Okay. And then I try to identify the flask.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, right.
do I know what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, it's just a roll. As an alchemist,
14.
yeah. So you see this is a potion of wound curing, of fairly strong potency. Cure moderate. Okay, the goblins finish devouring all of your pickles, and they move to the doors of the cage, and they just look at you. The littler ones, they reach their hands out.
Are my pickles good?
No, you still have 5 pickles left.
Kid.
Thank you, Kazuya. Go adult.
What?
Where did you go?
I'm with the baby goblins.
Okay, so I go into the room with Kate because he disappeared during the fight.
I give them some more pickles.
So you step inside, you see this odd scene where Cade now, with just a couple pickles remaining, you see green bits of pickle and juice dribbling over these little goblin toddlers' faces, and they just continue to devour everything he gives them.
Me pickles are gone.
So
You look at
Shittery
the.
pickles.
All right, that's actually pretty good. That actually was pretty good. So you rummage through the bed, and you see the charred bodies. There was like cheap jewelry on these, and these goblins were clearly the playthings of this bugbear. You see nothing else of value.
What kind of jewelry is it?
It's a goblin, cheap stones, and they're all singed and burnt.
Alright, take it, Solomon.
You don't even have to make an appraisal check to know there's nothing
I
of value
changed my
there.
mind.
I'll take it.
You're not in the room.
With the pickles.
You're in the other room with the pickles.
Oh.
I'm gonna leave and go back to the other room with Cade.
Do I know, do we know if these goblins are...
They're feral.
Well,
They're animals.
but we've come across some goblins that have sense to them.
All goblins. Well, that's true. The one in Rip Nugget's room where
Since I
had some
Wait.
facet of.
how long does this
Alright,
last?
can I tell if I do something, if
Because
they have a little sense to them?
Oh, you could, but again, the goblin. You have had enough experience with them to know that a goblin adult is of limited intelligence. Goblin toddlers, they may have some cleverness to them, but in terms of any speech capabilities, understanding common tongue,
Or can they be friendly?
well, you clearly see these two littler ones, and they are, they don't seem to be exhibiting any hostility.
I can train me own pirate goblin clan.
Oh, that would be.
You know what?
Epic! So I take their hands.
That's.
Their
And I
sigil
speak-
on their flag would be a pickle.
And I speak to them.
Okay, roll d20, add your persuasion.
Oh no.
Okay,
I don't
you
know.
have-
Can you help
somebody-
her, Ixen, with her
Well,
persuasion?
I have good charisma. Is that the
Yeah,
same
that
thing?
no, that helps.
Yes, but you don't speak. He speaks goblin.
Yes.
Oh.
So does.
Chimney mate! Come here!
Bomb squad, I feel you. I know. My dad heart is breaking for them too.
Let's... Arr, we got to speak to these little baby goblins.
What would you like me to say?
Something nice.
Say hello.
Hello,
Say-
cute baby goblins.
Hi.
Hey, let's go, Shane. I'm back. Thank you, sir.
You got it.
Oh, 8.
All right, and what's your persuasion bonus?
What's persuasion? Is that charisma?
That's a skill. That's a skill. You should have a
Oh.
skill that would be influenced by charisma.
Here.
Look at your skill tree.
Is it diplomacy? 'Cause it's not listed in mine.
There's no
It's
persuasion.
No, it's
No,
persuasion.
there's
I have it
Okay,
as
yeah,
low
use diplomacy then, yeah. It's kind of a little bit
Like
odd with a goblin to call it diplomacy.
Plus.
Plus 9.
Yeah.
Plus 9.
Okay.
Yeah, bluff is kind
All
of
right.
being deceptive.
You see,
Yeah.
as you reach your hand out, the two in the other cage, the little older ones, like, but the two small ones, I mean, they would look like the equivalent of like a human 2-year-old.
So like Ray.
They're already a little bit bigger than Ray,
So.
but just like in terms of their, so they what?
Gotcha.
So they are the perfect age.
To mold
To
into a
mold.
perfect little goblin
Slave.
pirate.
The brains are still malleable.
The two little ones, they reach out and each one of them grabs and holds one of your fingers.
Oh! Oh, me heart! Me heart! I
I
feel...
usually don't have a
feel
heart.
me heart!
What about
It's
hey,
opening up and
Kate? What about the
releasing.
older ones?
I'm not sure about that.
They rattle the cages.
I would like to take some of the pickles that I acquired and I would like to hand them.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
let's go LO 202. We appreciate the
wow.
No,
sub.
that's eat the
It's a
DVD.
gift
Yeah.
sub.
Oh, gift sub. LO
Yes.
202. Well done. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I would.
Is there a way I could take these bees
Keep them
out?
coming, as Lady Dying. What's that? I'm sorry.
Can I take the babies out?
So they're locked in this cage. So you can try to like force
Pick
it
it.
open,
You gotta-
try to pick
You have
it.
something that we can... You pick
Can I
the
just
lock. Pick
try
the
and
lock.
break
Pick
it?
the lock.
Dark
no,
Hour
we
84.
don't want to scare them.
We can.
Pick the lock.
No,
It's a-
we just.
Wait.
Oh,
Not the lock.
I'll try. Can I try to pick the lock?
Do you have lockpicks?
Yes.
Because
It
he's
comes with the
the...
alchemy kit.
Does it?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Arr, my
All right.
mate, my mate.
How large is the flail that the bugbear was carrying? Is it too large for me to?
By the
Huzzah!
gift sub. That's if you didn't check him out. Go ahead and make sure you check out the stream from yesterday. Renuna Sanseo, an incredible artist that is now supporting Blue Box, and we're going to be making some really cool stuff. So you're still in the room. You see it's a, and remind me your strength.
18.
You're 18. Yeah, so it's a huge flail, but you are strong enough if you wanted to wield it. As you lift it, you see it's well balanced. It looks solidly made. It's heavy. You don't sense any special sort of. Actually, roll d20 for me.
Who has a good d20?
You have choices here. Not the one with that terrible one.
2.
You feel like this might be a really, really well made flail.
Oh,
Okay.
are you a flailing person?
I don't know.
You're not in the same room. You're in the other room.
I would like. I'm gonna try and take it with me.
All right. You heft it. You can carry it. You do know with all the coins in your pockets and everything, you're getting to the point now where you're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Still not enough to laden you and interfere, but you can't carry a whole lot more without being pretty heavily laden. You strap this massive flail to your back. You have the 2 little goblins holding your fingers, and as Ixen steps forward, roll d20, add your lock pick.
Oh yeah, 5 gifted subs will get you like anything on there. So like if you want to give the party all the restoration and stuff.
Yeah, so with 5 gifted subs, Ethan Evie, by the way, so you can restore all the party's abilities, or if you want, you can introduce one nasty monster for the DM to put on the party.
Or give
We
Irina
prefer
like 12
abilities.
advantages.
Or do we get, if we restore abilities, do we
You
get
could
all
give
of
the
it?
DM a really nasty monster if you wanted to.
No.
All right.
So,
I think I took that one out actually.
is it a heavy
Yeah,
flail?
I just added.
Is it like a 2-handed heavy flail?
Yes, it's
Okay.
2-handed heavy flail.
Wait, what was I rolling D20 for?
Pick
For the
lock,
lock.
pick
Oh,
locks.
pick lock, pick lock.
Was there anything special about it?
And it was just
17.
a normal flail, no
Yeah,
bonus. Okay.
that's right. You step forward. It's a crude lock made by goblins. Like 2 quick turns of your picks, the thing flies open, and the 2 older goblins in the cage next door, they get very quiet. The 2 little ones, they see the
I picked
door.
them up.
They see the door swing open, and
I hope that was the right choice.
you don't have a chance to pick them up.
Oh no.
They leap into your arms,
Oh!
and they cling to you.
Army pirate heart is melting.
Yeah. So then
Can
you
I
go
try
to
to pick
your
one up?
equipment.
Or did they both jump on her?
You have
Yeah, they're
to-
both on her. You can try to.
Do you want me to pick one? Okay.
No. These are my pirate clothes.
You hold your hands
I
out,
just wanted to
and one of them looks over at you until it sees Ray on your shoulder, and then its eyes go wide, and it pulls away. All right, so you still have the other 2 goblins, the older ones. They're in the cage and they're still kind of growling. These 2 are clutching to you. They're kind of in your way, like you couldn't really swing a sword with them the way they're clinging to you right now.
I would like to go walk into the room with the baby goblins in it.
Okay, go ahead and.
And give them some pickles.
All right, so
Arr.
you.
Imitation is the sincerest form of
But
flattery.
You-
to the older ones. The
Oh,
ones
to the
that-
older ones?
yes.
All right, so you walk past, you see Cade, very uncharacteristically, almost in this maternal pose, with these 2, like, toddlers, like, very tiny little goblins that he's holding right here. And you see the other older goblins are in their cages, and they growl at you as you walk in.
Oh, no, don't do that. And I take out a pickle and, like, I hand it to them.
Thank
you so much.
Oh, we don't need any more bits. We appreciate it. All we want is your support. You're amazing. Thank you. Oh,
Huzzah!
Shane, you got the 1,000-bit badge. Well done. Let's give a round of applause for Shane O'Mac. Well done, sir. All right, so as you.
I want to like hand it to them, but I'm making sure I stand far enough away so that like, if they're reaching through, they can just barely reach the pickles.
I look at Ray and I say, I don't like that attitude. How about you shoot a little?
Hey,
Oh my
everybody!
gosh.
Thank you for the sub.
No,
let's go.
2 Dungeon Masters just gifted 10 subs.
10
Oh my
subs.
God.
Oh my goodness! 2 Dungeon Masters.
We're giving away. We don't need.
Okay, all right.
Give
So
away.
we're gonna do our giveaway right now. It's incredible the support we're getting on
Oh
this
my
channel. We
gosh.
love you guys. Thank you so much. And as these gifted subs, all with Bear 88, Ultra Fart Lord got a sub, and he got a mini
that's
last week.
Camelisa's favorite.
And hang on here.
10 gifted subs. Well, guys, we just unlocked our last emote, so we're gonna give those to y'all next week, and we're gonna have a bunch of subs to.
Outstanding. So our last emote is unlocked. We're gonna have Gandalf appearing here a few more times.
Oh,
And as Gandalf's appearing, we're gonna do our
So much.
we're gonna do our one break here, and we're gonna get ready for our giveaway. And I want us to just go ahead and jointly let's give a round of applause to our viewers. You guys are the best. Lots of blue box love to our viewers. We're gonna take
Hey, we have a sparkly shirt.
we're gonna prep for our
Give
giveaway.
your girl a shirt for Christmas.
Hold on. My lovely assistant here is going to announce the details of the giveaway.
Okay.
I'm going to
All right.
take
Watch.
a break.
All right. I'm gonna mute the alerts for now. Just because y'all can see them up there. Okay. So our giveaway we're doing is we're gonna give away a shirt, but you're gonna be able to choose what you want on the shirt with the blue box logo. So if you want pickle room on your shirt with blue box, you can do that. What you could get, I have a tale to tell, or you could do what's another? What are you doing? You can get what are you doing on your shirt. So anything, and you can get
Beast
the blue.
will slay you.
Yes. Or smash, and then you can get the blue box logo, pickle room for life. Yeah, we could do that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open it now. Rules to the giveaway is you must be following, and that's pretty much it. Just be following. You actually have double the chance to win if you're a subscriber too. So thank 2 Dungeon Masters for most of y'all, because I think almost everyone in here is a subscriber now. So. I'm going to open up the giveaway, and then we're going to go to our break. Hold on. Okay. Opening giveaway. Type in !merch to join the giveaway, and we will be right back.
All right, we are back and live, and we got a couple shout outs to do here in just a moment. Let me get the soundtrack music down here. And so first of all, we're about to do our giveaway, and we are getting the most amazing support. I've had a couple shout outs.
Make sure it's the
I'm
mic is
muted.
on.
Okay, yep.
Oh, it is
Yep,
on.
we're
It's
good.
on.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
It's working for some reason. I'm surprised.
We gotta
So,
make sure.
How are you working?
We have the most amazing supporters here on Blue Box, and we're so grateful. We've had many that are contributing today. Seekzilla, Shane O'Mac. I'll feel bad because I'll forget others,
Deidre.
but we're gonna shout out two in particular. Two Dungeon Masters. If you have not looked at Two Dungeon Masters, they actually have a podcast that they run, and they have great content on that podcast. So check them out, Two Dungeon Masters podcast. And I think they also have something wrong technically here.
Oh,
Can you fix that camera?
but then my
No, it's all right. You didn't move it. You just
it's
bumped it.
1 point.
They have at Two Dungeon Masters. I think they're actually looking for PCs. They're looking for PCs to join a campaign. So if you're interested in joining an online campaign, I think, hopefully I'm not wrong, check out Two Dungeon Masters, and they're looking for players. And then we have kind of a stream MVP announcement to make. Daedra. Daedra, who has already contributed to Riven Realm with the Daedrael, which are going to be an important race in Riven Realm in 2020, but also now has, with another 1,000 bits,
Huzzah!
reached a level of 14,000 bits already contributed to Blue Box in the first 2.5 months. A hand to Daedra. And look, I've said this many times. I'm going to say it one more time. We appreciate it, but you don't have to feel compelled to do that. We love you, just the chats, the viewership, the support for us. You don't have to give us bits, but man, we sure do like it. So thank you so much. And now it is time for our giveaway.
Hold on. I've
Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, our giveaway. Oh, there we go. So Dungeon Master. I thought I had that up a while ago, but it was not working. I forgot to add the exclamation point. So now if you type in exclamation point 2DM, that is the guys that we were talking about earlier. They have a podcast that you should listen
Very
to
cool.
while you're doing something else and stuff. And we've been in close contact with them for a while. Now for the giveaway, exclamation point merch to join it, and we will send you a t-shirt. Oh yeah, I messed up, guys, big time on the currency.
Yeah, he did. Sorry.
So I goofed when I was doing that, so everyone is at 0, Skelly. But I will go in and re-add those if you tell me how much you had.
Yeah, tell us where you were at before. We'll re-add them.
And I can go in and
I
re-add
don't even
them.
remember what I had.
Yeah, so I totally erased it on accident. Trust me, it's a lot more difficult than it looks. So,
All right, go ahead and run the. We're gonna close it off, and we're gonna run the raffle, and get back with our stream.
exclamation point merch to join it. Last call to action.
See cars, you had 1 million billion. Thank you so much for letting us know.
All right, so I'm about to close the giveaway. All right, last chance.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close it off. Hey, Skeleton Games, good to see you. We're doing well. Thanks for joining.
All right, I'm picking the winner. Oh wow.
Daedra! Okay, Daedra. We are not in any way rigging this and creating a false winner. Daedra got it, and well deserved. A great viewer. Well done, Daedra. And so you're getting a Blue Box T-shirt with this super rockin' logo. It's gonna be sent out to
You
you.
can also give us your favorite quote that you want on there. So if you want, what are you doing? If you have, thank God I'm weird and I touch poop, you can do that one.
Yeah, probably not gonna happen.
Oh, I have a tale to tell.
I have a tale to tell. I love pickles or something.
Beast, I'll slay you.
I know
Pickles, pickles, pickles.
I know your manhood is important to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know your manhood is important to you. That's a great one.
That's a good one.
That was my-
Beast, I'll slay you. That's a good one as well.
Where's Skeleton Games located? Because he hasn't received his yet. And I know
I
that's
think it's the one that was in London, right?
Oh, that's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it could just take a minute.
Wait,
That could
you're
take a
in
month.
Skeleton. You're in London, correct? Because that could take a while.
I sent it postal, and they said once it leaves the U.S., good luck. So
But we did send, and we'll stay on top of it. And
But
we,
I sent a card to my son from London, and it took a month. So
Who said I like the manhood one?
yeah, okay, good. I know your manhood is important to you. All right, so you have, again, you're now below the top of the skull of this giant skeletal structure.
That's the one I looked at. There's my D20. Oh, sorry, the other one.
And you've come down the stairs. This is still, it's like a combination of some sort of ancient excavation. Clearly the structure of this place was not of goblin origin, but the goblins have been here for a while. They've made sort of their trappings, their doorways, their pelts. So you have cleared out this room here with the bugbear, Bruthosimus, and you have incendiary slain a pair of goblin women that were laying on the bed.
I'm assuming I get XP for that, correct?
You have then also rescued a pair of tiny goblin children from the room, which are clutching Cade at the moment. And then the other two still remain in the cage, and we will resume.
So,
They snarl and rattle the bars of the cage.
should we,
No, Daedra gave everyone an advantage. So.
yeah.
and he gave you...
Well, it's 200 per.
Oh, okay,
advantage,
Daedra.
So you can't.
Oh, yeah.
6 to the DM. You guys
Yeah.
missed that one, I
No,
think.
you
Yeah.
get one because it's 200. It costs 200 per
200
per.
Well, so I think we would prioritize that one, though, right? That
No.
would be.
No.
So everyone gets one, and then
Everyone gets one.
I think you'll be happy about this, but you missed it. Ethan Deavy said he wants a. He said.
I
he
did
wants
see
it.
that.
Yes,
the-
he sent that to
the
our
gift-
chat
the
Slack
gift one.
channel.
Yeah, I have that. I'm going to figure out how to weave that in. And why did I know you, of all people, Ethan Evie, would want a gift somewhere? All right, so.
Of course she does.
Who gave us the centipede demon we fought?
Daedra.
That was
Daedra.
Daedra,
That
yeah.
was Daedra. Daedra almost killed the whole party.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'll put something good on that shirt.
All right.
I say, I mean, we can just let the older goblins out, because if they try and do anything, can either charm them, probably stun them, or just...
I mean, we
Kill
should
them.
have
We'll let Ray decide. Ray, what should we do?
Ray, he looks at you and he flexes his wings, and you see they look a little bit bigger. There's a stronger gust that comes off of them. He looks at them in the cage.
I agree.
Yeah, we just...
I mean, you should at least let them out and give them a fighting chance. You
But if
can't
we let them
kill
out, they can warn the other goblins.
I mean, we can just
just-
keep them trapped in here,
not
just shut the
okay
door
with-
real quick, let them out, and, a quick little...
I will not be present when you make whatever
Oh.
choice you make.
Arr,
It is
it's,
not
why don't you talk to him and tell him you'll live or die? Be nice or die.
That's a good idea. We'll have Ray talk to him or something.
Mm-hmm.
I go up to them.
All right, you step forward to the cage. They grab the bars and they start shaking. One of them reaches out and is trying to grab your
I pull
face.
out a little flash, and I kind of shake it, like taunting them, and I say, because they can understand me. He told me I should kill you. I could be a little more merciful, perhaps.
So, as you speak, you see, like, you get the sense that these goblins, they're so young, they still don't have a well-developed vocabulary. They might have picked out a word or two, of them spits at you.
Ooh.
Still
them.
strikes your
That
face.
sounds like death.
They need to die.
I agree.
Why not? I mean,
How should we kill them?
alternatively.
Oh,
no,
don't
no,
kill
no.
them for the little ones. Don't.
Alternatively, we.
They're clutching you, and they start to shiver with the sound.
I go into the other room.
We could just shut
With
the
me.
door.
Because I refuse to watch what is happening.
We
Right.
can. We
No.
Can,
So go ahead and
No,
move the minis,
we don't
please,
check.
where they should be. So
Okay,
Cade
I'm here,
and
is
Irda
here,
are out. Solomon and Ixen are in.
We are.
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh.
That is the little room. Oops.
I'm almost 3d6 now.
so
While I'm out here, I
could
tie
just-
them up with
no.
the rope so they can walk
We're not
behind
going
me.
to let them suffer.
Like,
Oh, actually, I have an idea. Do you want to try to wear your goblin friends?
to do what?
Do you want to try to wear them? Because I
On
can,
the
I
back.
can take the gown out and I can tie it, like fashion it around him like it's like a, almost like a little,
Papoose.
yeah, kind of. Little things
I
that
have
you
me
can wear.
goblin peppers.
I go to close the door and then I throw a flask into the cage.
Well, Solomon's still in the room, right?
No, we.
Oh, you stepped out?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going
stepped
to-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I throw a fire flask in there.
I kind of.
I want the gown back later. But
I
good
turn
luck for
around.
now.
All right. So
I wash my hands with this.
Solomon and Ixen step out. Ixen pulls out a red flask. As you're
Are you sure you want to do this?
twisting the gown around Cade's back, you
I
see
feel
Solomon
Let's
and
go.
and
Go.
Cade step out, or Solomon and Ixen step out.
I'm not asking for you. I'm asking for them.
You hear this conversation as you're twisting the gown around Cade's back.
Just the right thing to do. And I throw the flask.
But they're just.
Cade pulls out a flask of
Ixen.
red. Ixen pulls out a flask of red.
Save 6 is 14 points.
Fire erupts. He slams the door.
Okay. You've never done that with anything else.
You hear screaming and pealing and yells and sizzling and smoke, kind of wafts
want some
beneath the
jerky?
door.
I got some in me pack.
Free food in there.
No.
Well,
Should we make sure
that's
they're
what
dead?
you get for spitting.
That
Exit
is
Datrix.
probably a bit of an overreaction.
I
but-
enjoyed it.
Of course you did.
Sometimes.
But I suppose it's more.
You know, ever since he took his skin off, he's not been the same.
But I suppose it's more merciful than leaving them to starve to death.
Yeah, but if we leave them, then technically.
They suffer.
Yes, but that's not our problem. That's not on our conscience for doing it. We are leaving them in the same conditions we found them. We
I
can
have a question.
we can assume that someone is feeding them, otherwise they would already be dead. They're just not
You
feeding them
I
enough.
mean, like everybody that we've killed along the way down here?
What is a conscience?
It's like
Something he don't have.
it's like the thing in the back of your mind when you're like, ooh, should I massacre these goblin babies? That says like maybe you shouldn't do that.
I like that, apparently.
You finish
I
tying
do, mates.
the gown around, and you're pretty confident you've got a nice sort of twin-pocketed thing on his back.
I don't think you should have those goblins on your back, as you are a melee fighter.
What should I do?
I mean, she can just take them off whenever.
I think
He?
you should leave the
Yeah,
babies
he.
with me.
Ooh.
No.
No! These are my pirate mates. I got.
Riptide and stool pigeon.
No! Oh! They're back!
They're back!
They're back!
I say no to that one.
I said. I will keep them on me back. I guess I'll just.
So
Just be careful.
we have all these doors.
So Cade, he slips, and at first they're reluctant. You feel them almost clinging to your hand, but then they look and they see what's been fashioned, and they acquiesce. You slip one tiny goblin toddler into each sack, and you feel them clinging to your back. They kind of stink, but they're holding on to you quite tightly. And whatever she's fashioned, Irda's fashioned, it's quite solid.
Alright, thank you. Irda.
So we got four different doors. Four doors.
And no windows.
No windows.
No windows. So,
below the possibility of windows right now.
Well,
I'm
so-
pretty sure.
this door, there was something behind the other two.
Right.
So we could go through this door, and then there's only 3 doors.
I mean,
Because, well, there's still
we
4.
can at
but-
least open to see what might be in there or behind there. We do not know. But
What if you took your axe and you chopped a little bit of a hole so that we can stealthily peer
Or,
through?
or
Well,
maybe I can
that
just
wouldn't be
slightly
stealthy.
crack, I can slightly crack the door open some
That
so that I
works
can
too.
peek inside
Let's do
rather
that
than,
one.
you know.
Pour a little bit of grease on the hinges so it doesn't squeal as loud.
That would be useful, yes.
Good
Pour a
idea.
little bit of grease on the hinges.
So Hickson pulls out a flask, pours a little black substance,
Hey, thank you, Sigzilla.
Huzzah!
and what do you want to do with that? All right, so
Advantage me.
Ixon pours. Can't wait for the next fight.
Oh no.
Ixon pours some grease on the hinges, and Irda,
Very slightly, just enough so that I can see inside.
you hear the latch makes a sound, but no sound from the hinges as the door slides open. And you see a corridor
Huzzah!
that extends into the darkness
Okay.
ahead.
Can I, with my dark vision, can I see, like, anything down that corridor at all?
You peer a moment, and it looks like a straight hallway that has a bend to the right, about 20 feet down.
Okay, so, I can tell down this hallway about 20 feet from the door there's a bend off to the right, but there is not, like, a room directly through this door. So, that is what is through here. I do not
Are you
know
got
about
any
this.
dancing lights to dance down that hallway?
Not yet.
See, comment. I do remember though that at one point
I already have it planned.
No.
Like, what's in the
barrel of rum.
Yeah, it's already planned.
Barrel of rum!
I did not see y'all spoiled it. I don't need. I remember these things. I have that planned. Okay, so
But yes, I do not know what is through potentially these other doors. If we want to check them first before we proceed down this hallway.
Yes, let's investigate the other ones.
All right.
This door looks different than the other two, so I say we go through this one.
Okay.
so you close that door. You walk to the other door. All right. You open it.
And I just crack it a little bit.
You crack open the door. You see darkness.
Erda, can you come
I
investigate?
go over to him and I use my dark vision to see what I can see through the doorway.
Irda, you peek through the door, and you see about 15 feet ahead what looks like another door, similar
Okay.
structure.
So it looks as if there is another door about 15 feet ahead of this one. There is not a specific room necessarily, but I see another door ahead of this one.
More. I'm getting the feeling we're in a labyrinth.
We did mention marking things with chalk when we were up top.
We
Maybe we
did.
should start doing that
We should.
to our benefit.
Let's investigate this door too.
All right.
And I open it. Just a smidge.
You peek through the door. You see darkness.
More darkness.
Yep.
I send Ray into it.
There's one thing all these rooms have in common, and that is I can't see anything.
You see Ray slithers through, and as he gets to the edge of the door, he looks back over at you, Ixon, and he leaps. And you see he flutters his wings, and he actually flies a few feet ahead. You hear him thunk to the ground, but definitely an improvement.
That's new.
He
Was that
comes.
in this door?
Yes.
He comes scurrying back to you after a few minutes, panting. And he's still struggling with speech. But he goes,
3 ways.
Check
Check this door.
you already checked
We
that
didn't.
one. That's the only door you
That's
haven't
the
checked.
one- This is the only one we
I
have.
thought that's the one we came in.
This
No,
we
you
came
came
down
up
the
the
stairs.
See the stairs?
Oh,
There's
I tried that.
this door is the last
Oh,
one.
down the stairs we go.
All right. I have him go through that door.
Ray?
Yeah.
He runs to the door.
Oh.
Wait, no, I.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Go ahead, move your figure. So you run over there. When you open the door, you immediately smell a scent of salt, like a sea breeze. But
Oh, no! Close the door.
it's not dark, but you see a dim light. It looks like different than this area here. For the first time, instead of smooth, crafted walls, you see almost cavernous, natural structures, and you see a glimpse of some light coming through where there's barrels and casks and some kind of like crates on the wall here to this
I
side.
step into the room and I go check it out.
All right, so you see Ixon step into the room.
I check for traps.
I follow him.
I check for traps, buddy.
I'm coming behind him, so
Hey,
I'm also coming.
come with me, baby goblins.
All right, let me.
and
Riptide.
I will
Here's
dance.
some of this,
Stupid.
I will dancing lights ahead of me too, just to give us a
No,
little
I will give them different
All right,
Should have
so
let us stay in the dark.
Irda
names. Earn their names.
throws some glittering lights ahead of you,
full balls of light.
and go ahead and let's slide this whole thing back for me. Can you help me with that, please? Just slide it all back. Don't worry about this guy; he can go. Yep. Back further this way. Let me make room for this. No. I want it to stay. I just want it to stay
Yeah,
back.
you
Yeah,
want-
right
yeah,
there.
just
Perfect.
moving
Thank you.
into the-
Yep.
I don't have much room to write here, mate.
Alright, so Ixen went in first.
This is a lot to see.
So there's Ixen.
Yeah, go ahead and adjust the camera. And
I can't
did you-
reach.
Kate, can you help, please? Or, yeah, you got it.
Okay, and then I went behind him, and he
I think you
went
and I
behind
are
me,
like
right? Yeah, we kind of at the same time, and then Kate was
Kate,
following
bring
at
up
the
the
back
rear.
with the babies.
Oh,
It's
they're
like-
a little heavy.
That's
They're
right.
flying backwards.
All right, you open the door, and as you step through, let me describe what you see. It is, as I said, like a natural-looking cavern. You can smell the breeze and a bit of salt air that seems to be wafting through. There are crates and barrels and what look like mounds of sort of miscellaneous refuse in one corner. And to the north, this way, you can hear the sound of crashing waves.
Mind you of anything, Cade?
Go and check the crates and stuff.
Arr. Me home is beckoning. I smell it in the air.
Wait, what happened to that horse?
He's still up in the courtyard. We left.
What did happen to that horse?
Oh,
We could not.
You
bring
left
with
it.
us. We had to leave it behind.
he's here.
Okay.
With
Do we remember how to get back to the top?
this.
The very top?
Yes.
The tippy top.
Are we sure?
Yes. I can.
I trust her. She's got.
I can sense north naturally.
She's strong in the body and strong in the mind.
Alright.
I can
So you step into the room. Go ahead and
Yes.
move your PCs in order they go.
I investigate
I was
for...
Solomon and Ira were coming together.
I checked the crates and stuff.
Oh, I
Window.
checked the barrels.
See if,
I was gonna
if
say
there's
it's
anything
toward
in
the
this
front
room.
All right. You
Checking for traps.
the two.
Always.
No, you gotta tell me each time. All right. So you step into that room, and you feel the sea breeze grow stronger. The waves louder.
So refreshing after all the time in this
whatever.
hellhole.
You start rifling through the crates. You see all kinds of goblin supplies, bits of rotting grain. You see a crate full of dog slicers. You move over. You find a barrel. You pull a cork out of the top of it. It smells pungent, like a pickling sort of substance of some kind.
Oh,
Like a.
are there pickles in there?
You look in. It just looks like fluid. You move over to another barrel. You uncork it, and the sweetest aroma. You smell rum. Roll d20.
Where's my
And
day?
Sorry, I ruined it, guys.
the barrel for already and everything.
Oh, 8.
Okay, no, so you don't recognize the specific scent, but you have smelled this off of some islands off the Parisian coast. This is a valuable rum.
Arr! What have I found? I hit the mother lode, Solomon!
Of what?
You hear Cade exclaiming from the room behind you.
Ooh.
It is the drink of life!
The elixir of life.
Ooh! I found the elixir of life.
Rum.
I don't know.
Is it? What is it?
I don't know. It's a good drink. Oh, so I poured
Is it
Give it to the
alcohol?
babies.
Oh, yes it
Oh,
is!
I thought
Elixir
you actually found
of
the
life.
elixir of life.
That would have been very
I did.
useful, actually.
That would have
As
been.
much fighting as we do, that would be very handy.
Just leave it.
That would have been immensely helpful, and now my hopes are dashed forever. I'm kidding.
Sir, would you like a drink, sir?
No.
No.
Actually,
I take a drink.
We
I
need
would
to
like
remain-
to drink, and I think you should
We
give
have
the
to
baby
remain
rum.
sober and
Cade,
What?
I'm kind of yelling back from this front room.
All right.
Cade, I think we should remain clear-headed just for a little while.
I'll just get a little,
No.
a little chopper.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'll
It
share
gives
it
me
with you.
courage. It's liquid courage.
I take a
man.
flask out, I dip it in
Well, you can't dip it. It's got like a hole in the top.
I'll pour it in
So-
your glass.
So Cade, no, it's a barrel,
Oh.
right? So Cade grabs hold of the side of the
And I'll
barrel
tip it.
and tips it. Some dark liquid.
I pour out me flask, 2 of them.
A bit of it spills on the floor. A bit of it spills into
Oh,
your flask.
wasting the
A bit of it
elixir.
spills into your two. Yeah, but you took a little bit off the top of the barrel, but you got
So
yours and yours filled.
I think you
okay.
should empty your water skin and just
I
fill
did.
it all with out of this
I
barrel.
did. I
Alright.
emptied them all.
Now fill it all with rum.
I did.
That's what you just
Is
did.
dehydration a thing in
Yeah,
D&D?
yeah, of course it is. Yes.
Whoopsie.
Okay, I drink some rum.
All right.
Takes your constitution.
You take a quaff. It burns your throat. Your eyes start to water. This is potent alcohol. It's got the sweet flavor of molasses that hits your tongue, but it burns going down your throat.
I think we should take this and put it on the horse. Don't want to waste substance.
Well, we will have to get
I'll
it
roll
on our
it.
way out because that is a quite heavy piece of. It's
Are
full
we
of
here looking
liquid.
for Noalia?
I think you just fill as much as I can with
Cade.
your water skin in your glass.
No, take the barrel.
I think there's
And a
more
treasure.
pressing matters at hand than this rum.
I don't know.
Wait till we.
I don't
we
know.
can come back for it if
I
we
think
need
rum
to.
is the only thing that keeps Cade sane. And
I
we
think.
found a barrel in it.
I think if he needs.
Oh, barrel!
This is sanity for a year, mate.
I think if he needs more, we can get more in a little while.
Think we
But I
can
think
just-
he has plenty on his body
Ray.
right now.
Jumps off your shoulders. You see his little wings powerfully. Actually hovers for a second, and then he drops down, and he sniffs and starts slurping at what's on the cobbles of the
Oh.
floor.
Good.
He looks up, and he goes down. He starts
I
slurping.
grab it before he can drink too much.
Grab that boy, put him on your
Pick him
back.
up.
Solomon, I am very worthy.
For a second,
We should all just-
you see he bares his teeth, and then he stops himself.
I don't think she's gonna be.
He curls up in your hand.
I think we should
Alright, tap it through.
make sure that there's nothing down
We should mark
there. All right,
our
team.
path.
I think that we should leave the rum for now
No.
and just finish walking down this little cave and make sure that there's nothing down here. And then, you know what's on our way back?
Rum!
Exactly.
I gotcha.
And I start walking towards
I'm going to follow Solomon.
this way.
All right. So,
Did I find anything in the crates of
Did I-
interest? or-
yeah,
Did we
I
find
mentioned
anything
like you
else?
found like just like goblin supplies, basic sort of
Dollar
nothing.
stores or
Yeah, like Delutrius, like nothing of value that you found. And 1 second here while I put the next room out.
Additional giveaway at 230 followers, people. So
Landlubbers. We need
Landlubbers?
fathers.
I thought you were just
we
gonna
don't
leave it
need
there.
followers.
We want fathers.
We want followers.
Okay, let's slide that over this way. Thank you. And real quick, I didn't have this.
And we're up to 50 subscribers, so
50 subs? What?
Thank you. Oh,
Golly, thank you. Incredible. I can't believe the support we're getting. You guys are amazing. And we'll have this up in just a jiffy. And make sure I have this right.
Wow, this is crazy. It's like the room is appearing before us.
I'm looking really hard.
The
with
stones
my
are setting themselves into place.
That's absolutely bonkers. Oh.
Are you that old in the rum?
Alright, so.
What are those?
I don't know.
That's scary. Solomon doesn't like that. Not
Alright.
at all.
Solomon, as you step into the room,
And I'm right behind him.
you see a couple things catch your eye. One,
Is there like light in here? Or light enough? for me to
yes,
see?
yeah, actually there is, you see some light, and I'll describe what you're seeing in a second, but the light is shining. It's like a daylight that's filtering through some vines here. The
Okay.
sound of the waves crashing, you can feel a sea breeze coming through that gap there. So let me
This
read.
one?
Yep,
I was gonna say, can
So-
I go to that gap and see, like, can I orient myself whether we are on the skull-shaped thing?
Well, hang on. So let me. So as you step in, the floor of this cavern seems more strangely polished and smooth than any place else you've been down here. To the east, which would be out towards sea,
Okay.
you see a thick curtain of vines and nettles that hangs down, and you can feel the sea breeze and smell the salt air coming.
You're in the room!
Oh,
All the
no.
way over there!
Just
Solomon and Irda. So you guys are still. You kind of hear them walking. You're
We didn't
finished.
walk with them?
No, you are, but you're a
And
bit behind them.
I left 2 dancing lights behind myself and brought 2 with
Okay.
me.
All right, so you've got still the lights here and a couple of lights ahead. Both of you roll d20.
Okay.
I was supposed to walk with
That's a
them.
7.
I was supposed to walk-
Yeah, I was walking with them.
I
by the
thought
way.
we.
Yeah, but
Oh,
y'all were. We were like right here.
Yeah, they were ahead of
And
you,
y'all
so
were
you're
all
just
the
like
way-
trailing behind, and you have to help me with the minis too. Like you got to move your own minis. All right, so
16!
okay,
Yay!
I rolled a 7.
Solomon, you're the first to notice a tentacle
No.
that comes up from the floor, and then you see a pair of eyes, and a creature materializes before you.
Oh no.
It has
What the?
Whoa.
It has fangs and longer than what you see here. This is not the appropriate mini. They're several feet long that it starts to whip out towards you. Initiative.
Oh no. Guys, you might want to hurry up.
No.
That was very sudden.
Ooh, 11.
That's a 8 for me.
15 for me.
Oh,
I'm not using
that
this
was
die.
25.
a waste of a 20.
All right, so let's go back around. So it was 18?
8.
8? Okay.
Yes,
11.
Okay. 15. 15. And?
25.
8. Hey.
A waste of a 20.
All right, Cade, you see, now, you can't
Precise throw!
You can do that. Like, you can't rush forward
Right.
through the room, because they're standing right in the doorway, but you can throw, and you see, just to describe, you see a door here and an opening here,
So,
where this is. This is an opening.
is this lava?
No, it's not.
It's just wall?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
wall.
Dang it. I was
All
gonna
right,
try and like.
Cade, you pull your dagger. You see this tentacled beast.
Returning
You got another advantage.
Oh, thank you.
11.
Thank
Plus-
you for the advantages today, guys. I really appreciate it.
What are you up to now? Like
6.
30?
I have
Returning
6
dagger.
advantages.
Trying to gift me one?
My returning dagger plus 4.
So total is-
15.
What was it?
15.
Just a.
Total of 15.
Flowing in the
I think. Is that right? Returning dagger?
No, it's plus 5.
Is there
Oh,
a,
it's plus 5.
So 6.
Okay.
is there a picture of this guy that you have, or is?
So 6.
Yes.
17.
You ever seen Flushed Away?
No.
17.
Okay, what's that? So it's a total of a 17.
Yes.
looks
Okay.
it looks a bit like that. It's sort of like a squid-like creature with long tentacles. You throw your dagger. 17 was the total, right? You throw your
Yes.
dagger. You see a tentacle with lightning speed flicks the dagger out of the air. The dagger still, though, turns and comes back to you. The creature slaps out tentacles.
So what if we disengage?
One at you.
Ah.
One at you.
Alright.
Roll high, roll tight.
So
And I'm back down to my normal 19.
19, right? 19 and 19.
Wait, is there water here?
No, it's
No.
the floor is smooth.
No,
Materialized.
smooth floor.
Huh.
thought it was gonna be the
Hang
Kraken
on
face.
here.
Yeah.
You barely slide out of the way of a tentacle. You have one hit you.
Of course.
It wraps around your leg.
Oh,
You take only 4 points of damage, but make a saving throw. And this is a DC 13 Fortitude save.
Oh, great. I have a +8 to my fortitude, so that's...
Gotta get a 5.
Oh, that's a 9.
Wait, was that a natural one though?
Yes.
Natural one always fails to say.
Yes.
All right, so as it bites into your leg, you feel something being injected into your calf, and you suddenly start to feel weak.
Am I bleeding?
Not yet.
Oh.
If the tentacle comes loose, you might be bleeding, but you're not bleeding
Okay.
yet because it's almost like suctioned onto you.
Okay.
You lose 4 points of Constitution.
Oh.
So drop your con
Wait,
by
oh,
4.
I have a +2 on saving throws against effects that affect my constitution
Okay.
because of my angelic blood.
But that would have been 11, which would have still been short,
Okay.
plus you had the 1 anyway. So it's good to remember that, but it wouldn't have helped here.
Okay.
So you feel your muscles grow weak.
Minus
Your
4?
bowels, yes. So minus 4 points of Constitution.
Dang.
All right, it is Ixon.
Alright, I'm going to use advantage, and I'm going to throw my feces flask that I've injected with
Yum.
explosiveness. So,
So you're throwing an explosive feces flask.
yes.
Okay, first time ever. I've DM'd for 40 years. I've never said those words ever. My player is throwing an explosive flask of feces. All right.
Alright.
A 2 and
No, that's not 2.
That's
It's
a
in
two.
between the 18 and 2.
no, I'm calling 2. What's the other one? What's the other one? though? The other one's better.
It's an 11.
No.
It was,
Okay, 11 plus.
that was definitely an 18.
No, that was way more 2.
I think I should be re-rolling. It was in between. We've always re-rolled in between.
Okay, so look, this is the last time I'm going to allow this, but I'm going to judge and I'm going to be fair. If I think I saw 2 more than I saw 18, it was slightly tilted toward the 2. I'll let you do it this time, but next time you have to honor what I say. Dice don't lie.
11.
So 2 11. So that's a total of what?
18.
18. All right, you see the same thing happen. As you flip the flask, a tentacle snaps up, strikes the flask. It flies to the back of the room. Poof! And stench fills the room. You smell fetid, burning feces inside the room.
Thanks.
Solomon.
Is the tentacle still attached to Irda?
Yes.
I like to
Go
try and
ahead.
chop it off. Oh, don't fail me. Something tells me it will. Just have this sneaking suspicion in me.
Have faith.
I do. I maybe don't. Like, get it in the dice tray. There we go. 18! 28 to hit.
All right. You
Huzzah.
pull out your blade. Whoom! You slam it down into the tentacle. Roll damage. You hit so hard, you feel sparks. You see them fly off the stone where your blade slams into smooth stone and tentacle.
14 damage.
Ooh. You snap the tentacle.
Nice.
A piece of it still stuck to your leg is wriggling. The other part pulls off. The creature screams as you do so. Cade, You already went, so that leaves Irda.
Alright, am I still standing? Like, it didn't pull me
Yeah,
down,
it did
right?
knock you
Okay.
down.
Can I try to, like, get the tentacle off of my leg?
Yeah, so you, so that'd be like spin around doing that, or
That's
okay, yeah.
fine, I just
You
want
reach
to-
down, you have no problem. You pull it off your leg. As you pull it off your leg, you don't take additional damage, but you do
Okay.
see blood starting to
Okay,
flow.
so I am bleeding.
Yep.
Good.
That might be the most gangster thing any player's ever said. So I am bleeding. Good. All right. Initiative.
13.
One of my dice.
20.
15.
Okay.
22.
Solomon. You pull your blade off. You see the tentacle retracting back into the creature. You hear it scream. You smell the scent of burning feces in the room.
See, I think what I'm going to do. Never mind. Wait, no, I'm out of that. Darn it. Okay, so I'm gonna use my my tactician feat. So for the next 3 rounds, everyone gets a +1 to initiative after this.
Ooh, all right. Everyone gets +1 to initiative.
And then I'm going to go, and so it's kind of like a squid-like. I'm gonna take my sword and stab it like the sort of the main squid pot.
All right. So you step. Go ahead and move your mini forward. You step forward toward the heart of the creature.
I didn't feel like this was a bad idea.
You lift your blade. You see tentacles start to swarm around you. Roll d20.
Fail me. 15.
Total.
Yes.
You pull your sword. A tentacle slaps onto your hand and pushes it away. Your sword strikes the ground and misses. All right. Cade,
Okay.
you have a clear path if you want to move into the room. Your dagger returns to you. You snatch it from the air.
Well, I'm gonna try another precise throw
Okay.
with panache. Arr, let's go!
Cade flings the dagger.
Why are you using that dice?
That
This is
dice
the-
sucks! Get it out of here!
What was the
poopy
roll?
die.
It was 12.
Total of 12. You fling the dagger again. You see a tentacle just knocks it away and it spins through the air and comes back to you. Yurda.
Alright, I'm going to move so I am in the melee with it. And when I become adjacent, it takes 1 point of damage from my blood because it is my bleeding causes 1 point of damage to the
Okay.
monster automatically. Because I'm guessing it's evil. It has to be evil or undead to take this. So I'm guessing it's evil. And now I'm going to attack it with my battle axe.
Yurda steps forward and swings her battle axe.
Rah!
Blood streaming from
Oh
her. Where's that? What's that meme again with like my backstory, my role play, and then my dice rolls?
It was a total of 9 because it was a 3. It wasn't the one thing.
Okay, so you swing your blade, and again, these tentacles just like they swirl around. One jostles you as you swing your blade. It strikes and hits the ground. Sparks fly.
That's all right.
You also feel the poison in your leg continues to course.
Okay.
You lose another 4 points of constitution.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yes, nasty poison. The creature strikes.
Right.
It lashes out at Solomon. The first tentacle comes at you. It slaps against your armor. You feel it scrape like little teeth and does no damage. A second tentacle slaps around. You feel it, same thing. It hits your leg and cannot penetrate your armor. Ixon.
I throw a electricity flask at it. 18. I was getting ready to grab it,
Nice.
but I let it bounce.
All right.
So I assume that hits.
It does.
Um,
You throw.
And this
You see, he pulls out a
one-
flask. It's blue with little arcing lights inside of it. He flings it at the creature.
So now it has to make a DC. Oh wait, no. It doesn't get a save. If it hits, they're shocked for they are dazzled for 1d4 rounds with electricity.
No save?
No. Dazzled isn't stunned.
I know.
But,
Okay, all right.
yeah, no save. Ooh. 20 points of damage. And
Lightning streaks through the creature. You see its body shivers and quakes.
2 rounds.
Hang on. Tell me what it looks like.
Oh man, I was not expecting this. Alright, so actually, this was not oh, we got some more biddies.
Oh, hello!
Oh, he gave
Daedra!
you
You're
another,
the
he gave you
best,
another,
Daedra!
advantage.
I need the advantages. The DM's
So-
getting his butt kicked today.
You see Ixen just kind of fly over.
Oh, he still has the wings?
Yeah, he has it for up to 5 minutes a day. And then he just kind of flies over. What? He flies over the guy and he just drops it and then slowly just flies away on his
Alright.
head.
As he drops the potion, lightning crackles. The two of you step away. You see the creature kind of shivers and quakes and then just falls still.
Man, it would have been so much better if that was my feces flies. Death by feces.
Death by feces.
Sorry for that, it caused
Soon
death in the
it's,
world, so that's not right.
It's now again kind of quiet, just the sound of the wind and the waves coming through.
Irda drops to her knee and is clutching her leg where she's been injured, and she's like, obviously in severe amounts of pain. She's been poisoned. Does anybody have any way to help with poisons?
Can cut the leg off.
No, oh, that's a horrible
With
Dixon.
poisons?
Means if worst comes to worst.
Can I try to craft? I take out my alchemy set and I try to craft the cure to the poison. Or do I have to identify the poison first?
You see, you step over. You look at her leg.
I am a chirurgeon alchemist, so like I work with like
Right, I know. So,
poisons and stuff.
what's the knowledge skill you have in this? Is it knowledge of alchemy, or what is the?
Okay, the knowledge I have.
I need a. What would be your most applicable skill? You feel the little goblins on your back. They're quivering and shaking.
Solomon, you got any pickles?
I think I have a few left.
Give me one, please.
Break it in half.
Alright, thanks. I get the pickles.
So you hold the pickles behind you. At first, you don't feel anything, and then you feel them snatched from your hands, and you hear crunching
And
sounds.
I pat their heads.
You pat two tiny little goblin heads as they're crunching on pickles.
Why do I have goblins?
All right. So the most applicable skill, Ixen.
I have alchemy, which is alchemists are not only masters of creating mundane alchemical substance, but also fashioning magical potion like extracts.
Yeah, let's use that. Okay.
Okay, so
Roll d20.
and then add my skill of
Alchemy skill, huh?
Okay.
C. Cars had a great comment. He said your most applicable skill would be playing with poop.
All right, so I get a plus 18 to crafting alchemical. So 32.
You see some bits of like a pale yellow fluid seeping out of her leg, and you know there are basic methods of taking the actual venom and turning it into an antidote. So you scrape some of the yellow substance off of her leg. You see Ixen sets out several bottles, a beaker. He takes some of the fluid off your leg. He pours some other chemicals in it, and you continue to feel weak. And it's not gaining any more strength than you, but you just feel this wooziness and weakness.
I
Having
also
a
have
hard
a
time standing
feat
up.
called Swift Alchemy, so I can create like alchemical substance at like 3 times the speed that I would normally take. So,
Okay.
She looks like she's about to faint. So.
All right. What are you doing while he's doing this, Cade? You're feeding pickles to tiny goblins. Solomon.
Looking around.
Yeah, seeing if this squid boy has
Oh!
anything of
I give her a swig of rum.
Cade steps
Here.
over.
She's not like even paying attention.
All right, I put rum down her throat.
pour it on the wound.
Oh yeah. When I pour it down her throat, pour some on the wound.
Cade, you vaguely, just sort of dimly through your consciousness as it's fading, you feel a hand grab you by the back of the head and a flask is pressed to your lips. Your head is tilted back and suddenly fire burns down your throat. All right. You finish your swift alchemy and you have a small green flask.
I pour it down the throat.
Okay, you step over. She's coughing.
We're shoving a lot of stuff down her throat.
She's coughing. You see Cade watching her with like expectation of healing. Solomon has moved elsewhere to look around the room. You take the small flask, you put it to her lips. She's like, she's coughing. You manage to pour the elixir down her throat. She just leans over and goes to sleep.
Okay. I cut open that creature and I extract its poison.
Okay, so you see Ixen moves over and begins sawing away at the tentacles. Solomon, you search, you see, as I said before, those vines that are covering, they actually open up. Do you kind of like peer through them, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna look through them in just a little bit.
I take each one and I grab raised arrows that I've made for him and I begin dipping.
Okay.
Putting the substance onto each of these arrows.
Okay, so you start dipping raised tiny arrows. Now you don't know how long this will keep, but for the moment, you're able to determine that they will cause a drain in Constitution, a 1d6 drain in Constitution with a DC of 13 Fortitude save.
That's ridiculous.
For however long it lasts. Okay.
And I take as much as I can into a flask.
Right, you get a good solid 2 like small flasks filled, enough that could probably coat a couple of dozen arrows. You pull back the nettles and fresh sea breeze. It's a pleasant change from the smell of burning feces and ichor of this strange squid-like creature that lie behind. Let me close this so we've got more darkness behind me here, because I know that's not such a good look on the screen. And you feel fresh salt air hitting you. You hear the sounds of seagulls behind. What are you doing, Cade?
Smelling the air.
Cade, come over here with me.
Aye, son.
Is Cade feeling it right now?
Cade, as you step forward,
I smell the salty breath.
Cade, you're feeling the best you've felt in some time. The salt air hitting your nostrils, reminding you of the sea, the feel of rum warm in your stomach. You just feel a pleasant sense of serenity, no matter that your party is, laying on the ground.
I say we rest while Irda is resting.
I agree.
And I say
Good
you
plan.
take first watch, because I took first watch last time.
I took first watch the time before that.
So we can trade.
Okay.
So you got it this time and I'll get it next.
Sounds good.
I don't trust Kate.
Yes, Cade, I think you need a full sleep.
I
Is there anything
sleep.
Ixen, is there anything we can do to kind of secure this place?
You hear Irda cough. You come to, you're lying on the ground. Your constitution is restored. You feel your strength has returned to you. There is a strange burning sensation in your throat. You vaguely remember like multiple elixirs being shoved down your throat.
I feel like I've had a very rough night.
Oh,
You have.
Erda, you've had quite a rough night. Oh, it reminds me of a tale
You
of when one of me
Oh my
mates
God.
met.
Dude, you've been asleep for like several hours.
Solomon,
Yes. Irda.
I can hear you.
No. No.
Yeah, you are.
I have
Go ahead and roll d20. Roll d20, both of you. Let me think of how to
She's
modify
definitely gonna roll
this.
20. You're
Okay.
definitely gonna roll a 1.
Oh
All
wait,
right.
I'm going to use advantage.
Oh!
I'll let you roll first to see if there's a 20.
19 and a 2.
Okay, so 19 plus perception. Okay.
Yeah. Mine is 12.
All right.
So
Hey guys, additional
31.
follower at 230 followers. I know there are
Additional
people.
follower?
Yeah, one
No,
more
giveaway.
follower, and we get
No,
another giveaway.
No, 4 more.
Four more followers. We get a giveaway.
So
Look
if you're
at that,
watching,
Okay.
Follow us
You
and
rolled
get
a
some
two.
rum.
You hear him. He's trying to whisper. He is a horrible whisperer. You hear everything that he's saying.
Solomon, you are not subtle at all.
No, you couldn't hear me because I was doing this. I was whispering like this to Kate.
Have you
Solomon.
been drinking the rum again?
No, you
You're
can't.
a very
I can hear
bad
you right now.
whisperer.
How could she hear me?
She is great at everything. Have you not figured that out?
That's a good point.
Irda, this reminds me of one of my friends. I almost thought we had to take you to get fixed because long ago,
Fixed where?
to a man of medicine.
a doctor.
One time we were sailing and one of our mates, he had not been named yet. He was a no-namer at the time, and he fell ill. Extremely ill. Fever. Sweat. Body aches. So we stopped at a port to find a man of medicine.
A doctor.
Whatever. Man of medicine. We found one and we left him with him. Gave some coinage. Then, when we came back, to retrieve our mate, all of a sudden, we retrieved our mate, and as we're walking the streets, everyone was chanting, "Poquito huevos! Poquito huevos!" as we were going through the streets. So, we just, everywhere we went,
What is Paquito Huevos?
he must have done something great.
Has it-
We never did find out what it meant, but the way that the town just everywhere we
Can I
went.
make
Has
that
it-
knowledge of
I was gonna
language?
Okay,
I was
so
gonna say-
both of you make language checks,
has
please.
Has it been 40 minutes since I cast comprehend languages?
No, it's not been more than 40 minutes.
Then
Yes.
I can understand what it means.
You determine.
No.
So, and you recognize this was a dialect of a group of islands off the Varisian coast, a swarthy seafaring people that speak this language, and it in fact is implying diminutive testicles.
Little eggs.
Yes.
Kid,
Wait.
I think you should know.
He did something great in the town. Everyone was going, "Poquito huevos!" Say it with me.
No,
Poc-
he had little testicles.
No, you don't know yet.
Oh.
You don't know
I
yet.
know.
She knows.
Oh.
And Iris just starts laughing to herself as she's hearing Kay chant. this
What
to
are
her
you
voice.
laughing at? That was me mate.
It means he has a little manhood.
So
That's what we thought.
your friend Poquito is being looked at as a medicine man.
I
This
think
is
it was
embarrassing.
I think it was the wrong medicine.
I'm glad he's dead, so he doesn't know what it meant.
Wait, how did he die?
He died thinking he was a hero.
Did he die because of the?
No, he
Embarrassing.
died in the shipwreck.
Did he die of embarrassment?
He didn't know, thank God.
But how do you not know you have a little package?
Well, we didn't know.
He clearly never went to a brothel.
I think
Clearly
Medicine
not.
Man was a brothel. That's what I'm starting to think.
Yeah. So what is this medicine man?
Was he-
Describe him.
Did the
He had to,
Describe.
what he said.
Describe the building.
Just a building, brick, stone.
That could be any building, really.
He looked smart. Merge.
Did the medicine man did he look very excited to have a patient?
No, he just stayed in the room. He healed him, but word got out from the nurses. I guess that's must have
What
been.
was the problem down under?
We don't know. He was just healed.
But what was the? You said he sweats, fevers, body aches.
Arr.
So why would they?
Well, I'm sure they had to undress him to figure out the problem. And I guess from the look of it, they figured out what the problem was.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
And
Yeah.
that will tell you
And so did
how gossip spreads, me mates. Be careful what you say, because now, me friend, I found out.
so
But that was not a good
Mr.
thing.
Pepito,
Poquito huevos.
is that what you called him for the rest of his tenure on your ship?
Well, we called him Keto, for short. But
Keto.
but when we would have a jolly old time, we'd chant, Poquito huevos! Poquito huevos!
I'm glad he did not understand that.
Oh, I am
because,
too,
wow.
because
Wow.
he would have died in shame, but he died thinking he was a hero, so there we go.
You can't make this stuff up, fans. This is just what players
And
do.
if you just joined, what has been going on is a tale by our pirate mate.
Arr!
Described the tale of a mate who had little eggs. Was the translation.
So as I take off,
It's still going.
oh no, I take off my little goblins, and I take off my jacket to go to bed. But as I take off my jacket, I notice something. Oh, what's in there?
His eggs.
Ixen!
You saved
What?
them.
I said it! I lost them, and now they're found!
You can't read.
I know.
So you
These were
see,
the
she
plans
pulls
we were
out
talking about.
several like parchments, old, burnt, wrinkled parchments.
My favorite kind of parchment.
Okay, this was right in the town.
Okay.
So you may look
What
at
is,
that.
I was going to say,
These
I
goblin
can
plans?
read.
It's been a while
I'll
since I've had
read.
to read.
Here, let me see.
Rib Nugget seems to favor the overwhelmingly land approach.
These are written in common.
But I don't think it's the best
So
plan.
he was.
That's
That was
the
the guy we just
bugbear.
killed. Looks like he didn't cover it. I'll escape
Whoops.
through the glassworks.
Who is
I
that?
can't wait until.
That is Nualia.
No, it speaks of the bugbear that we
Wait.
fought.
I can't wait until the
See?
town
I don't-
until
Oh,
the real
Rufus.
raid.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
this
the
is-
bugbear we just
oh,
fought.
this is the
Real
rooms.
raid.
Wait, no.
Wait,
More
what?
importantly than that, I can't wait until the real raid.
The
What real raid?
The raid went about its plan. Okay.
Are they?
Brewery too close.
Can I
Me.
see?
The latter.
Take a page that's not being looked at and let someone hold it up for the stream in front of one of these webcams.
Cool.
Is that in? I
Okay.
can't tell.
All right. And go ahead and
Yes.
read out loud one of them just so the audience can hear.
My love seems bent on going through with it. Nothing I can say convinces her of her beauty. She remains obsessed with removing what she calls her celestial taint and replacing it with her mother's grace. Burning her father's remains at Thistletop Shrine seems to have started the transformation, but I can't say her new hand is pleasing me. Hopefully when she offers Sandpoint to Lamashtu's fires, her new body won't be as hideous.
Everyone make a D20 roll religion check. Knowledge religion.
Does it matter that I know who Lamashtu is?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'll
do
luck
work.
out.
10.
Succubi are
18.
demons too, aren't they?
So you recognize Lamashtu
Yes.
as
18.
a powerful demon. Yeah, so you've all heard this name.
Well, and it speaks of a mother, right? And that's the same mother that the
Yeah.
demon spoke of when we were in the glassworks in the bottom, correct?
It would
the mother saved them.
that would be a fair connection to make. Yes.
Okay.
We were able to secure Tobin's bones with ease.
Tobin.
What do they need his bones? Wait, does it say anything about his bones in there? His
Mm.
remnants. They secured his.
Her father, Noalia's father was Tobin.
Yes. So burning the remnants got the
This
transformation.
is
I
top.
sing me goblins.
At
to
the
sing.
Thistlehop shrine.
Hey,
There is a
While I'm
shrine.
drinking rum.
have we found a shrine?
We have not
Oh,
found the shrine yet.
A shrine.
Did we find a shrine?
No, not yet.
Oh no. Also,
But the shrine at Thistletop, where we are, that's what the burning her father's remains is what helps to start her transformation into a succubus.
yes. We know
Which
she's-
means it's already started.
Not dead.
Who's Pseudo? I've heard the
Suto.
name.
Suto. her brother.
Soto.
Her
Yes.
brother. Oh, she's telling her to take me Suto, and she's naked.
Let's
think-
have it.
I think this is incest.
No,
If I'm not
no,
mistaken. No.
Noalia is not Suto's sister. That was the girl that
Okay.
the
Amiko.
tavern. Amiko, yes.
Yeah.
Amigo.
Amiko was the sister.
Oh.
So then, oh yes, wow.
You don't get sights
So-
like that every day.
No, you really don't. So it seems that maybe the person writing this at least is probably Suto as well, because it's talking about my love.
And probably this too, because I don't think this actually happened.
But we killed Suto. No, we did.
No, I'm just saying maybe these were written. I mean, why would anybody else fantasize about her saying take me Suto?
Suto?
Exactly.
Yeah, we found them on Suto.
Therefore,
Well,
the
I
rest.
say we look for the lower chambers, because that's where she is at.
Yes,
Agreed.
yes.
Oh,
As
that
you-
one door where it was going down.
As you speak these words, you see a
Oh no.
shimmering in the middle of the room,
No.
Oh no. I wanted to sleep.
and a strange figure begins to take shape. Humanoid. It looks like this. With a large sword and strange sort of face on it. And zoom that in a bit more.
Great.
No. No, he doesn't look friendly.
No.
Yes, he does.
And
He looks like a good enemy.
he stands in the midst of the room.
Oh, this guy's gone dead.
I'll grab this guy for lack of a better one for the moment. Stands in the middle of the room, and you feel an immense evil aura emanates from him.
Oh, great.
A long, wickedly
I throw a bomb at
curved
him.
scimitar pulled out. Ixen reaches into his robes, and we'll stop there for tonight. All right. So, thank you so much. We got 1920 viewers right now. It's been a great stream. We're going to do our MVP vote.
Alright, I'll come over.
And so my lovely assistant is once again going to come over here and get the MVP vote set off. And yes, we owe this incredible creature to ETH and Evie Games with the
husband.
massive sub earlier, putting certain death in the
Yeah, I
face
don't have
of
enough
our
hit points.
players. It wouldn't have mattered, but we'll see how this all unravels next week, because I think he had some specific instructions, and he got them. And look, I love doing this stuff. We always make sure it makes
That was
sense
you?
in the
That's my
theme of the
husband.
campaign. I don't want things which are going to destroy the campaign or be, outside of its scope. But I think we can do some things with this. It'll be fun. And so we're going to have our stream MVP now. So if you've enjoyed the stream and you're not following, if you're not sub, you're not following, we have one question for you. What are you doing? But thank you so much for all. We picked up so many subs today, new followers, lots of bits.
Actually, we have not gotten a single follower today.
Oh, just subs, I guess.
Alright, so type in exclamation point vote and then space and the number. Exclamation point vote.
Exclamation point,
Arr.
vote together, then a
I saved
space,
the goblin babies.
and then your number. So Cade is 2, Solomon is 1, Irda is 3,
Zero.
Ixen is 0,
Oh,
Thank you, gentlemen.
And we'll take a couple of minutes here and let you make your votes. Oh my goodness! It's a landslide! Holy smokes!
No love for the king.
This
man.
is an utter beatdown.
you,
Oh, Beckano!
Oh my
Beckano, wait,
goodness.
I want to talk to Beckano for a second. Wait.
Stoned, you get it wrong.
Hold on. Oh, we got a couple other. Okay, all right, good. Beckano.
snap.
Hold on, wait. Beckano, you have watched, I think, more hours of this stream than anyone. We looked at the stats. I think like 22 hours. I think you've watched our stream. You don't comment a lot, but we love that you watch us. And thank you so much for being a fan of the stream. That's all. Just be a part of it and watch. We love that. All right, so let's see here. We're going to close this off. We're going to give it, because we have a lag on the stream, we're going to give it 15 seconds. I'm going to count down here. So, 2,
1 is the loneliest number.
Don't
that we
think
think
it's
of.
going to
10, 9, 8,
I think it's like the most
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Whoa, you got the
2,
fingers
1.
all wrong.
I just missed one. Boom! Shut it down. Irda! That is 500 extra XP to Irda. And we are enjoying the 12. So we're going to go ahead and stay with us because we're going to raid someone. But I want to give another shout out again to Dragon Crafting Guild and Atris Minis. Also, Ukador. Do not miss. Tomorrow night, Ukador.
Just keep talking.
Tomorrow night, Ukador will be running the second session of Origins of Ukador. And, by the way, yours truly, DM Neuromancer, will be playing a character in that session. I will be Aiden Isiasworn, of House Tally, whose name is now forgotten and lost upon the winds of the bleakening. And you will see Aiden tomorrow night. I believe it's, 7 o'clock Central Time, something like that. Check out Ukador's channel. He'll tell you. We'll put it up on our Instagram channel as well. We also want to thank 2 Dungeon Masters today who gave us, I think, some ridiculous, like 10 subs. Incredible.
Huzzah!
Daedra. Good to see Wolfwraith in the channel. Seekzilla, great commenting all through the conversation today. C Cars, Ethan Evie Games, so many of you. Just a big support. I'm sure I'm forgetting many. Shane O'Mac, you're incredible. Shane O'Mac has been a great supporter of the channel. Camel Elise, thank you. So we are going to go ahead and get ready to raid someone. So hang with us for a minute. And while we're waiting, I'm going to give you a chance to ask the DM. So if you have any questions about the campaign, about any of the players, about my DM style, rules, the homebrew modifications I've made, because we're running Open Gaming License 3.5, but I've dragged a little bit of Middle-earth role-playing from Ice Crown Enterprises back in the 80s. I've dragged a little bit of D&D 5e. I've got a custom sort of set we run here, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So we're going to give you just a minute here while we're waiting to see if you have a question before we do a raid. And thank you. Fun session today. You guys are great.
Yeah, I really thought these were like lava walls, and I wanted to like lure the squid into it.
That would have been a good idea, and it's just the fact that I didn't have enough walls. I had to pull some tiles from another set.
Yeah, when you were putting them down, I looked over and I was like,
Yay. I say yay.
Okay.
All right. And how do you join? You join. Okay, so hold on, before you switch. So how are the players finding your homebrew system? So new players, and I think this is a better question. I'd say mainly even for the two of you, because I think you've played with other DMs before. Mm-hmm. These two have mainly played with me as a DM. How do you feel about the sort of homebrew or sort of differentiated modifications that I make? And like, look, no negative XP here. Like, I'll welcome criticism too. Like, please, like hit me with it.
I kind of prefer it because I don't like one of the big things about D&D and the way that the book is written, it's all about fun at the end of the day, and a lot of DMs who play strictly by the black and white rules as written, it's not as fun because there's not as much like flexibility and creativity in it, so the story's not as exciting.
I don't think I've ever played with anybody who's done it like most almost everyone I've played with. It's been like, yeah, there's one rule of cool. If like if you're like, yeah, I want to do this really cool thing that's hard to do, and you describe it well enough, your role matches up, and it's feasible that your character could do it, then it's like, I like that aspect of it. But you also, like, you keep enough of the rules in there so that it's still, like, nice and structured, without just kind of it being, like, free reign.
Well,
so
I
like,
honestly, I couldn't have scripted those responses any closer to what I would want you to say, because literally, like, what you're saying is that's how I want to DM. I want there to be freedom and creativity. The story is paramount.
Yeah.
But if the story doesn't have structure and rules to it, then it just makes it a free for all. The possibility of failure, the possibility of looking stupid, the possibility of dying. And so that's what I think, good DM should do. Give a platform for the players to tell their stories and have fun, but enough structure to it that it actually follows a logical set of rules so you feel like you're living in a real world.
Well, and with the DM that I played with before, he was more about the combat and less about the role play, so there wasn't as much story built into it, so I wasn't as, like, invested. Like, it was fun, but it just, there wasn't as much, like, yeah, let's see what's going to happen next, you know? So.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I think, Evelyn, what you see also is if I want to just have combat, I can play Risk.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of board games. I can just roll dice and fight. This is a game about storytelling, and the combat to me is an important part. It's a critical part, but it's a spice that's on the main dish. The main dish is the story. It's the role play. It's the characters themselves and how they tell their stories, and then the combat creates a lot more of the fun. All right, so
Exactly, Chris. That's exactly what it is.
that's exactly right. See, Cars. Story makes it. Combat's fun, but story makes you care about the characters. And the main dish is pickles. Who can question pickles?
Pickles always.
All right, so I think we're ready for our raid, and we're finishing our stream up today with a good, solid viewership. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of my players.
So go them, spam your raid emotes to them. I think everyone should have them from all the gifted subs.
That's
And
right.
we will be raiding now.
Blue Box!
Hi guys, thank you.
Amen.
Hey, that was awesome.
That was awesome. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much.
I think one of like the coolest things. I think this is more of a 5e thing, which is basically the only thing I played. Is like, say you're fighting somebody. You could be like, yeah, I want to go run in and slide and slice his legs. It's like, okay, roll. It's just instead of like how we
Roll
do
for
the
it, yeah.
disadvantage.
Right,
It's
right.
just like
If you make the
DM
roll, it
it's
happens.
DM's discretion. So
Yeah.
instead of like just rolling like that, since that's something that's harder to do than you would have disadvantage
Exactly.
for that.
Yep.
Like if you're, I don't know, say you're on a hill and you're shooting a bow at someone that's down there, might be advantage for that. since it's
Exactly
easier
right.
To hit.
Yep.
So
No, you're
that's
right.
kinda like a style that I like, but this is also this water. This is also nice.
Yeah. So so some of that happens, and then a lot of what I also do are just simple penalties or bonuses. So a very common thing, what you're talking about is a called shot. In the old system, we'd call it a called shot, and a called shot could be a -4 or a -8, depending on the nature of what you're doing. And I'm just factoring that into my roll. So I could give you disadvantage, or I may just give you a called shot, or if you have an advantage, I can do that.
I think the first time I ever played D&D, like, it wasn't in person because I like just got my license and all my friends were in Nashville, so it was over Discord. And like I hopped in like right at the end, and there was a Basilisk that just came out, and like someone was saying like right in the line of sight, and I was like, can I use like my prestidigitation to just get his eyesight away? And they're like, yeah. So
Okay.
Oh, we gotta end the stream.